Here we go. Okay. Last time, Esther found an egg. Esther found an egg made of clay and was told about some legend about a stone egg and elements. And the egg will hatch when earth is in air and fire and water mix. This cued a very
Frantic.
creative swath of experimentation. Not quite
Frantic and desperate.
Yeah, frantic and desperate's probably in there. Some interesting things were tried. None of them so far have succeeded. Solution is out there somewhere, but, we just don't know it yet. We got about 30 additional dwarves on the island, immediate families of soldiers in our groups, and supplies enough to last for, did we say about a month? I think about a month.
Yep.
Ronir came to Esther with an interesting little question about the group. Has remained cagey and vague about details. Esther is going bananas about that, trying to guess at that and jumping to conclusions and assumptions. In among the supplies, we've got sheep and a German shepherd called Colin to herd them, which is adorable in its own right.
Sheep!
Yay! Rosalind Dream contacted the Duke, her dad, regarding Issa, refugees, the hybrid. The hybrid had been there, and Issa did not trust this individual, which probably speaks well to her insight, as it were, for the role that we're after. Meanwhile, Ashta was dream contacting Orion, and hybrid met him too, but Orion knew better than to trust him pretty much immediately. Explanations were given. The hybrid was trying to find out where Ashta's dad is buried, but no body of his is left, due to funeral rites that were given to him, but his mom is unfortunately a distinct possibility. Orion does want on board the castle and is apparently very proud of Ashta for, acquiring this, being part of the group acquiring this. There were arguments in the morning about the hybrid and various plans, and why didn't Esther and Rosalind specifically tell Ashta the ring was from Bo? He had some points, but they were both, unfortunately, they'd made a poor decision to begin with, perhaps, or a practical one, depending on how you look at it, and then kind of forgot about things. Wisdom, average, yay! Raven Queen confirmed that Xenia's mom is deceased, unfortunately, because this has been a question on everybody's minds now, is who the hell is the hybrid gonna try to raise from the dead? And Ashta, at the same time, dreamt from the hybrid's point of view. I got the impression it was Raven Queen interference. It was at the same time as Xenia's trance questions. The hybrid was digging, gets up a skull, presumably human, at least humanoid, cries and hugs it and asks, "Did you make me and what am I?" And then Ashta woke up, and that was very, very distressing, because presumably if this was a dream of present or past, it means that the hybrid already has found Ashta's mom's gravesite.
No, it was confirmed that he did, because Orion got there, and we received the message that Orion saw that the grave was desecrated, and he was currently tracking that.
Thank you. I wrote down that Orion was tracking it. I missed the previous part, so thank you.
No worries.
Yep. Esther got mad at Ashta for being insensitive. Ashta was mad at Esther for being blunt and then getting mad at him for being insensitive. There were some discussions about improvement of character, perhaps. Caius was upset over his own family and slept in a different area that night. Artie's not doing the greatest in terms of, emotional health at the moment, I think, overall. Esther's doing a lot of meditation with the monarch, because her presence opens the mind and is good for that. Some other various members of various squads were also doing the same, I think mostly from the majory squads. But there might have been a mix. We had a little breakfast, a little something to eat, and we are heading out towards the Plains of Wrath, presumably Pinel, to answer the summons of the Goblinoid army for Caius. We've got about 3-hour travel time there, and I believe we were planning on seeing if the Monarch could fix that shard for the purification of Ix on the way. That's what I've got, and I think that's where we're picking up. And I think Conrad might be just about done with his very last minute.
Like, for what
Test.
sheet, though?
Yes.
Yep, it is. I mean, I'll be blunt. It's one of the Zodiac sheets. I'm just finishing it off.
I wonder which one it could be.
It may not actually be the one you're expecting.
Oh boy.
Fucking 4 times. Okay, you know what? It's not having a token for now. That's fine. Just gonna leave it.
It's cancer.
Oh.
I don't understand how you keep doing this.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I am finding my Zen.
All right. Yes. Zen is good.
Oh shit! I'm trying to get to the wrong.
Oh.
Sorry, I usually have the same image and the same token. I realize now that that's not how that works.
What have you done?
Been stupid.
A bad thing.
Okay, I just did a bad thing.
There we go.
Did you have the image on the map and try to drag it to the sheet?
No, I had the image that gets displayed on the sheet. So I was trying to drag it to the use this token. Because I forgot they're not actually 2 drag boxes. Only one is a box you can drag to.
Oh yeah, no, you got.
Yeah.
You gotta put that down on the.
You see, all the other Zodiacs that I finished, you'd think I would have figured that out by now. Unfortunately, I'm stupid. So,
Moving forward.
yes.
We know this, Conrad, but we love you regardless.
Gross. Okay.
What do
So-
you mean, bro? Shut the fuck up.
Fucking.
As you guys have completed breakfast and you are on your way to, presumably Pinel, depending where you guys direct the island to go. It is starting to become almost, domestic. The dwarves don't always have all their armor and weapons on them. It seems they always keep something on them, but they've more so reverted to kind of just living here.
Domestic AU.
That's a whole other thing.
That being said, it's up to you guys what you do now. I believe it's been a couple hours or an hour since you guys have woken up. You believe you said you guys are going to go to the bird, right?
Yes, be bird.
Purification. Yep.
Alright.
To the bird.
As you approach the bird, you find a number of dwarves meditating with her. A couple are instead just kind of conversing and discussing. Most of the ones discussing seem to be from either Rosalind's squad or from Xenia's, and most of the ones meditating are from Esther's. Although you do note, Ashta, one of your squad is also there.
None of Caius's?
No, doesn't seem so. At least not at the moment. But as you guys approach, she glances at each of you, kind of nods. Says, I take it you have not come for the mindfulness practice?
Not this time. Well, maybe a little. I need something fixed up here.
Shall we go somewhere more private with the dwarves, or is this alright?
Maybe a bit.
Look at the dwarves, and you see most of them stand up and begin filing out. Ashta, one of your squad pats you on the shoulder, as well as one from Xenia's squad.
I was just gonna give the light wave.
But as they file out, the courtyard goes a little bit quiet, except for the flutter of wings as you see firebirds starting to line the crenellations of the interior of the castle.
You just call them up for this, or
They enjoy observing auspicious events.
kind of like people.
Is there anything the rest of us can do to help?
Well, you've not asked me what you'd like me to do yet.
The shard.
To purify it.
In that case, it is good they're here. case something needs, someone will have to bear witness.
You're willing for this? You've only given vague ideas, but from what I understand, it's not exactly safe for you.
Not totally. That being said, I am well rested and I believe as strong as I ever have been right here. With the help of you folks to jump in if need be, I believe I have the best chance I ever will.
Are we
Oh.
gonna have to kill something that comes out of it, or?
No,
Yeah,
no.
what do you mean jump in if
Yeah.
need?
Well, you each have Fane as well. If the worst of the events comes to be, and I begin to get corrupted, then you'll be able to slay me.
Uh, what?
The Ix are a corrupting force, dear.
But
They are somehow more powerful than I am, and this dark fire does begin to corrupt mine. I would become a source of dark fire. We cannot allow that to
Magic.
happen.
Magic can't heal Ix. Yeah, not.
Cannot. At least not that I know of.
What
Alright.
about the rest? You know, like it's all the other birds lined up. They have a lot of their own, don't they?
They do. And
They
if
bathed you in it with that two things. Don't know.
I believe so. And if need be, um, a good multitude of them could potentially use their fame to cluster and destroy the Ix that grows for me. And then hopefully I will survive.
So
But again,
us.
this is only speaking of worst case.
So that's the step before us doing battle.
Yes.
well, with any luck, let's hope it doesn't get to that.
Is there? Well, I guess before we start this thing, then, is there anything in that worst case you'd have us do?
Yeah.
After, you know.
Keep the castle safe.
We'll do the best as we can.
That is all I would ask of you.
Is there anything we can do before that, the potential of the worst case that'll make it less likely?
Keep me free from distraction as best you can.
Understood.
Silence.
Silence may not be required, but whatever peace you can allow me, I will take with joy.
Just as a note, right before we do it, Xenia is going to cast guidance on the monarch and just see if that'll do anything to help.
She'll take it. She's not gonna say no.
Okay.
That's just kind of like, I don't know if this is gonna apply to Ix, but I mean, it's in the name. Cast protection from good and evil.
All right. Well, just a quick spellcasting check, actually.
Okie dokie. Wait, just our wisdom or wisdom and proficiency?
With proficiency.
Alright. I'll just do face palm.
All right.
21.
Is that based off wisdom?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Um,
You smack yourself so hard in the face. She's protected.
as you put the blessing on her, she kind of relaxes into the magic and she says, "Ah, I see. This is some of the magic I have not seen before."
You can raise an eyebrow. Do you mean just what I have, or?
I mean, your magic in general. It's been. Well, I've never met humanoids before you folk.
Well,
But magic of the giants were powerful in their own sense, but very rarely in a peaceful way. So,
Oh,
if each of you could keep back, just in case, and place the
We have
crystal in front of me.
two. Is doing both at once way worse, or
We should do one for now.
well,
Keep it safe.
we'll see what the risks are first. He looks to the matron. Our monarch, damn it.
We'll start with one. It is. I'd rather only have to use one arm, as it were.
Alright.
Which one would you like? The one from the
Maybe do the one
dragon?
from the first dragon.
Alright.
He wasn't
Zeno.
exactly boasting the firepower of the second.
Yeah.
and
Zeno.
maybe the X will be a bit docile considering they've been detached for so long.
Yeah. Xenia will get the jar with the first obsidian shard in there and just take off the lid.
Also, the one it was in wasn't originally evil, like black dragons tend to be.
Hopefully it will. Ix always learns something from those they inhabit. Hopefully it learned some of the goodness inherent to him. Now, if you could allow me peace, I need to focus.
Rosalind backs up quietly and waits.
So does Kai.
And you see as the Firebird, first off, glances at the inside the jar, and her eyes do that twisting motion you guys have seen a few times. But once it gets about 90 degrees of a turn, it kind of like flicks back, and so this slight glow to them now. And crystal begins to lift into the air. This small purple asterisk of light begins to orbit around it. Every few rotations around the crystal, you get another 16 moving in this manner where it's along.
He's cutting
every
out.
direction.
Yeah, I was gonna
He
say.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's
Go-
cutting
out a
Can
little
you
bit.
can you get closer to your mic? Is it away from you, or is that your
No, it's
connection?
right. Face.
Yeah, that's your connection.
Yeah.
Alright, one sec.
Of course.
Ooh, long monologues and his internet. Jeez.
Yeah,
Yikes.
Yikes.
can't be helped.
Me and Ariel were the first ones on, so
Hmm.
Yeah.
the like room, quote unquote, should be pretty solid.
I can't.
What?
Oh, I can't hear you guys. There we go.
Okay.
Yep.
Still kind of glitchy.
Still kind of bad.
Not now.
Bit better.
Getting better.
Go for it.
Go now. Go now.
So, you watch as the crystal floats into the air, and these purple asterisks of light begin to orbit around it. Every rotation or two, another one appears. Until eventually you have, in the kind of atomic pattern, where it's going in every direction. But 16 of them floating around. Each of them emit a small ray of light into the very center of the crystal, where you know the dark fire lays. Let's see. Xenia. 100.
Oh, D100?
And then
Not a D100. Why?
Okay.
Oh dear. Well, Ty has a decent reputation for D100s.
It depends on
Like
what end we're going with.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that a 7?
7, right.
Oh no.
Higher or lower better in this context.
Let's hope so.
You can see as the first of the purple X blink out. Another,
Oh no.
and another, until there's only 4 left. 100.
Who's
Who's
rolling?
rolling it?
Rosalind.
Oh
Oh
god.
dear. So all the Ix are starting to wink out?
We don't know.
All
They're
the
blue
lights.
lights.
The love
Holy!
is light. Oh no!
Oh
I
fuck.
hope like hell low is good.
Mm,
Oh,
the
let's
number?
hope, bro. Let's.
2!
2.
2!
Alright. So you see as the rest of the lights blink out.
Oh no.
And for a moment, it's like something has taken the crystal and began to squeeze that dark color out of it as the tip begins to go white. and it's slowly burning down like a log held upwards, like a match. And the crystal shatters. Ashton,
Oh,
roll me a D100.
fuck.
66.
66. All right. Around you, the silence is broken by the fluttering of hundreds of wings as a bunch of firebirds begin to die from fire. It is floating there, completely separate from the crystal.
Wait,
The chunks of glass are floating around it, and as the firebirds begin to approach, a piece of glass will fly towards each one, flying. But the monarch has yet to move. She is still peacefully, and yes, stepping towards the dark fire that is now separate from the crystal.
Oh god.
okay, so there's dark fire separate
Pieces
from
of-
the crystal, still shattered.
So are still in the air, and as the fire all around you begin to towards it.
You're breaking up horribly.
You're breaking up.
I
Yep.
can't make that out.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
So,
I have
from
no idea what the
basically-
fuck is happening, honestly.
Basically,
From basically what he said was dark fire got separated from the crystal.
Crystal shattered, dark fire is now in the place of it, and apparently the birds dived in and the glass shards go into each of them, about 10 of them.
Test.
Okay,
we heard
we
test
might have to
test.
fuck birds.
All right, this is better.
Uh,
So, as the crystal shatters, firebirds from all around you begin to fly directly towards the now separate dark fire. It is floating in the air, as the pieces of crystal kind of orb around it. Shards of glass that were once the crystal shoot toward the birds.
Nope.
shards of glass that...
Shards of glass
They
that-
shot
yeah.
towards something.
Yeah, I think it's the birds. That's what I heard the first time.
It's
No,
firebirds.
the shards, each shard shot toward the bird.
Yeah, but then he went on to say the shards of glass are shooting towards something else, I think. Did he?
Test
Are you
it.
there?
Yes.
You're a
Maybe
bit rough.
type
Yeah,
it.
we hear you.
Sorry. So I was repeating myself, didn't cut off. So the glass is shooting towards the firebirds as they dive towards it. Start.
Okay.
Nope, you're gone.
Oh god.
Alright, please hold.
Well, that came through clearly, but
I don't think
Buggins.
lower is better. I think we're fucked.
yep,
Oh god.
yep,
Test.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, the monarch has yet to move. She is still sitting the exact same position she was before. But as the glass hits firebirds as they fly in, Caius, roll me a d1.
Oh, we're so screwed.
Oh, fuck. We took a calculated risk, but man, are we shit at math.
What's the number?
68.
68.
68.
A few birds begin to turn this obsidian black,
Oh, hell.
Oh fuck.
No.
Christ.
and the monarch opens her eyes and breathes fire onto the dark fire. Esther, roll me the final d100.
Oh god, oh god, I don't.
One more.
What did you put this on me?
26.
Oh, God.
26. Alright,
Why did you do this to me?
as the white flames go out, the air is almost completely still for a moment. And you realize none of the firebirds are moving. The crystal is still. And where there once was the dark fire, you don't see anything. As you look to each other, you're once more in your elemental forms.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
you hear the monarch's voice. I believe we call this a partial success.
Partial success.
What do you mean by partial?
The dark fire is no more. many firebirds are also no more. This is a risk they came upon themselves. They each volunteered. That being said, my white fire can only exist as a solid for so long. So I must ask you, which of you will receive it, or am I taking it onto myself?
Does it still clear X?
It is clear, Vix.
Does it
Does it-
clear X?
It can, if your force of will is strong enough.
I'll take.
To
Ashta.
Ashta.
Yeah.
Alright. So, as time resumes once more, each of the black firebirds just drop out of the sky. And as they hit the ground, you see them each cry, a single tear. As each tear hits the ground, plants begin to grow. Crops. One corn, another potatoes, squash, peas. Small patches, as their body begins to fade into nothing.
I mean, that's one
Ashta.
way to start
Whoa.
plants.
Ashta,
Mm-hmm.
as you watch this happen, you feel this kind of droplet of water in the center of your forehead. I need you to roll me a wisdom, charisma, and intelligence saving throw.
Cool.
Have
No one
you
got anything to help me right now.
have you got an inspiration on your sheet from anything?
Nope.
We often forget it.
1 second.
I do not have anything that'll help you immediately. I still have a potion of blessing of Moradin, but I think that'd take too long to get you to drink it.
I got bless.
Alright. In that case, you can add plus to each of those rolls.
Oh god.
Anyone else got anything else?
No, just that one. Don't
No.
have much time.
Wait, can Thorn also add assistance if Thorn is there?
I'm not sure Thorn can assist with anything like that. He can do telepathy, but I don't think he can bolster mental ability. It would be nice.
We're going to assume Yema is here. So for bonus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
So, go ahead and make the rolls.
Oh.
3d4.
1d4.
1d4 for each is what I meant.
Ooh.
Oh god,
Each
then
of the numbers are.
save.
Alright, so intelligence total is 6.
Alright.
Wisdom total is 24. Charisma total is 17.
Oh, and Yema's bonus on top of those. What is Yema's
Oh.
bonus?
Plus 4 for each of them.
Alright,
Plus
so
4.
10
10.
for intelligence. Wisdom, 4 and 3, 28. Charisma, 21?
Combined total that you need to roll was 55.
Oh.
You rolled 59.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Ashta,
My heart.
go ahead and increase one of your mental stats by 2.
Oh my god.
Yo!
Wisdom
Yo.
is.
Alright.
Nice.
Fuck, man. That could have gone so fucking bad.
As well. You have a special dice on your sheet
Where is
that
this?
you're gonna add that you can use once per year. Sorry, once per level.
Oh.
Sorry.
What's your year?
Sorry, I mixed up a different
Per
building. I was
level?
thinking of once per level. Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of like that fate dice that you. You can
Okay.
use this dice at any point, and you can cleanse one being of your choice of X, as
Oh.
long as you succeed against them in a wisdom check versus their preferred mental stat check.
Okay.
If you would like it, you can use that ability on yourself right now.
I think he's gonna.
All right.
By fighting myself.
Well, go ahead and with all your bonuses, roll me a wisdom check. And
Wisdom check, save. Same thing. Okay. If I punch myself in the face and it hurts, am I stronger?
Well, see, that's a nice thing
You're a fucking moron, that's what you are.
because the
Bloody hell!
are
Oh,
not
God.
your ally. They don't get the bonuses you get.
Alright.
So 9, 12. Right? Your bonus is +3. Oh, so it's also before you got your +1 to that modifier. So it's
Oh, so it'd be +2.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hard to eat.
My god.
Well done.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So Ashta,
Huh.
I will now give you the choice. Would you like to clear your mind of Ix?
What do you mean choice?
You can
Yes.
clear your mind of Ix, or you can exert your control over them in some other way. This is a one-time ability until you next succeed this check.
Dude, yoink the egg.
What do you mean?
You have essentially taken the Ix in your mind
Yeah.
and forced them to decluster. They are now scattered across your mind, where you can eliminate them one by one without harm to your own mind. Or, as they are weakened, you can exert your power over them in some other way. How you do so is up to you,
Can I turn them to Fane?
if you would like to.
Is that going to take a check?
No.
Is
Oh.
there... Am I aware of any risk that would be changing them to Fane?
You will no longer have Ix in your mind.
It's a good thing, brother.
And so... Is there any difference between me removing them and changing them?
That's up to your morals and preferences.
But they will be Fane.
They will be fine.
I'll switch them to Fane then.
Alright. So as you guys watch, Ashta's wings shoot out of his back. And you see that kind of scar on the side of his face from that year in the astral plane. All begin to glow. A dull gray that's slowly light. It's almost like a cloud leaving in front of the sun. Ashta, feel free to add 3 Fane points to your total. As the Ix are no more inside your mind.
Cool. I've got 14.
Well, shit. Yeah!
Damn.
And you see the monarch finally open her eyes. She looks at each of you. Says, well, lives are lost, but I believe it's all for the greater good, no?
Thank
Ashta,
you.
how do you feel?
Outside of what you just said, better.
I would
Are-
imagine so.
Are they?
Are they gone?
The X.
Yes.
Yeah, are they?
Oh, worms.
They,
not rats.
I go by a different name now.
Alright, stop
Much
being
better one.
cryptic.
I turn them to Fane.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, that's good. It's good, isn't it?
It is something rarely done. Well done.
And from my understanding, that means that any memories the X have from back in time
They are now yours.
memoriam, I can get to.
And Ashta. So as you add to your sheet, cleanse Ix, and the extended use,
Mhm.
I'm going to send you a message with the new Fane ability that you get for reaching 13 Fane.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Wait, who's sending a message now?
Conrad is
Conrad's
sending a
sending one to
message
Devin.
to Devin.
Oh no. I don't like that.
No,
It's a good message.
It's a new ability. It's a new ability.
Oh, okay.
It's what I can do with 13 Fane or
yeah. Probably it's something we all would have gotten once we hit level 13 and 13 Fane with it.
That
So
would be correct.
he's just getting it early.
Lucky bitch.
He reached
Well,
13 Fane points.
out of curiosity, well, not can you just send me a like in-text write-up of the Cleanse X ability later, just so I have the exact wording?
Sure.
So you get another fame point every time you level up?
Everyone does.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Your fame points equal your level. But Ash now has +3 to that. Conrad is typing.
Yep. In the meantime, you're gonna get like the tentative little like a poke in the side of the head from Rosalind's Fane, like, hello, kind of thing.
And he responds, "Hi, I think we're all good now."
And there is a sense
Well-
of happiness and relief, and then nothing.
We're all connected now?
I think we can be again.
I sent my ex to rehab.
Are we all fine? Are we able to connect like that now?
Indeed.
Ash is. The rest of you, all of you were good by yourself.
Oh yeah, but the
Yes.
entirety of the group.
Esther's
Still
gonna feign
typing.
Esther's gonna feign Ashta. Did you miss my voice in your mind?
From the slightest.
That's mean.
It never left.
Esther's gonna smile. Aww, that's so sweet.
Ash just rejoined the chat. Alright.
Oof.
Oh! Wait, what's that last one?
Oh dear.
So
no.
it's not that it can always do those first three. It's just
Okay.
it has to be mentally enforced.
Okay. So physically, as in unconscious on the ground, doesn't count.
No, that counts because you are unconscious because you're forced to be unconscious by your thing. If you're unconscious because you are bleeding out, that's a different thing.
Okay, that's
Because
what I
that's
mean.
just you don't have enough blood. You
Ooh.
don't have enough blood in you to maintain consciousness. That's one thing. But if you are
Alright,
forced
then.
unconscious by an ability, you can purify.
Oh,
Cool.
interesting. So like
Curious.
immunity to sleep spells, basically.
Feel free to just give them what the text. They're gonna get it eventually.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's fine.
Nice.
Let me just copy and paste into my chat. Sorry, into my sheet, and then I'll just click it.
Click it.
Do-
Well.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Does that include charm?
Yep.
Great.
Where is it?
Fuck yes.
What chat is it in?
It's in the game chat.
The roll 20.
Roll 20.
Ah.
So he went through all that work to gain the ability to clear himself of charm and anybody else, and now he's just gotten it again.
Yep. Along with everyone else in the party eventually.
You
but
thought
it's
you
okay.
could paralyze me?
It's okay.
Yeet your nerve damage.
Your trained ability does not cost Fane points, or at least not that many, right? It's
So,
just Fane.
so would a monk's stun be under that, or would you just be like power word stun?
In the okay, so that would be a situation where I go basically, what's the subclass?
Okay.
It's in an idea where it's Caius, where it's purely physical. No, but in a situation where it's say a just more of a mentally proficient monk who is more focused on that. Say like a Wave of the Realms or Wave of the Shadows. Yes. For example, like a Mind Flayer's stun, or something along those lines, you'd be able to clear that.
All right.
So, Ash does Reavix once more.
Okay.
Nice.
He just
Nice.
looks up to the monarch. And thanks for all of that. I don't think I can ever fully pay it, but
As long as you keep my place safe and continue to show me the wonders of the world. Once more nurture my fame as I've always wanted to. I will consider it paid.
I think we can do that.
We can
And
most
if every once in a
certainly
while
do that.
you find the fishing halls are better than usual, a snack would be appreciated.
What kind of snack?
Fish.
Just fish?
And rodents if you find them, but I imagine fish are easier to come by.
Oh, so that's what you guys are. Makes sense.
Oh yes, you think we just subsist off of the energy of the universe?
Is that a trick question?
I'll go ahead and says, no, were you assuming that?
I wasn't assuming it, but since you brought it up, I don't know anymore.
I'll have to maintain my mysterious air somehow.
Well, if we do come across, we will
Um,
most certainly give you some.
and I don't mean to. There is another shard.
I am aware. I would ask
And-
you give my fireworks a chance to mourn first.
Of course. Just. But the. I was wondering if the option was closed off, given the result.
If you so desired and it was of urgent timing, I would do it today. But if not, I would appreciate allowing my allies and children a chance to mourn the falling.
Of course.
And as well, a chance for your new residents to reap the benefits of Firebird's final blessing. As she gestures towards the crops all around her.
Yeah, about that.
We are creatures of the earth, Ashta.
Would you?
Once pass, we return to the earth.
Can they just do that, or do they have to die?
When a firebird passes, they cry a tear, filled with their life force. If it reaches the ground, it becomes life once more. If it is not, the firebird is forever in stasis, never able to pass.
Would it be possible if we could, or would you like us to relocate these crops, or would you like us to leave them here?
That is a choice up to us.
It's
Blessings upon this
whatever's-
land. You are nurturers of this land, just as I am.
I believe it would be a good testament to them if we took what was grown and make entire fields out of it.
Yep.
In the
The start of a
meantime,
harvest.
I might spend a little bit of time here just mapping out the area, seeing what plants there already are. Sometimes plants grow better in the company of certain other ones, and if they should be moved to benefit from that, then I can see to it at another time. If you don't mind me poking around for a while.
I hope you're here as long as you need to be, dear Rosalind.
Real quick, can Ash like flex that kind of cleansix thing at all? Does
will
he
be.
have like fire in him right now?
Can he flex it? Flex it.
Like is it
Flex.
well no, he does that with his planar warrior all the time with the glow around him.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
make a wisdom check.
He's gotta like pull his hand out and see what happens. 12.
You definitely feel a certain amount of energy flow through you.
Spark on the fingertips.
No, it's more so you feel like muscles that weren't there are suddenly trying to force their way to move, but they're exhausted, like absolutely exhausted, and they just refuse to do so.
Alright. You guys. Okay, yep, that makes sense.
You have used a tremendous amount of energy today, Ashta. But use my blessing well.
I'll do my best. If we ever do revisit this process, and he kind of like tilts his hand, and what little I have is recovered, will it be able to aid in that process?
Absolutely. Although, more so in the final steps than the initial.
What's the way it was supposed to go there? I get the feeling the shard wasn't meant to shatter into pieces.
If all went as I planned, the shard would have remained as the fire was drawn out of it, like a siphon, leaving the corruption behind to be disposed of as a rock would be, with only the purity of the fire remaining. Fortunately, it seems my inexperience was my downfall. Thankfully, my firebirds came to assist me.
And go nods. Also, out of character, Any of the, like, named Firebirds we know of? Like, ones who went down?
It's a good question. Go ahead and roll me a d20.
10. Hard average.
As far as you can tell, you don't see any of them missing. That being said, not all the Firebirds in the castle are here. It was quite a flurry of colors and feathers to have really kept enough track.
And also just, was the bit of magic I threw on before the process help at all there, or just kind of a light increase?
Sorry, I think I cut out a little bit there. Could you repeat that?
Basically, did his protection from good and evil there, like, actually do anything that the monarch noticed?
If things had gone worse, I believe it may have helped. That being said, I would rather avoid the need to test it.
I mean, that's... Well, I think we'll leave you and your kind to, as you say, mourn.
It would
Hey
be
guys, should we
appreciated.
go? Should we go kill that dragon?
That's probably a good idea.
The
Yeah.
black dragon?
Yeah,
In the
yeah, that one in the
cage?
cage.
By the monarch. Do you have an opinion on that?
He is captive, as long as he no longer remains here. At the soonest expediency, we'll leave the choice to you as captors.
We said, remember, we told him if we'd let him free, he'd have to promise not to come back here to hurt us. But I thought we decided on killing him. We have like 2 days until he breaks out himself. I
That-
think I need to bring him some food.
That doesn't, for one thing, that relies on his word absolutely. For another thing, that does not bar him from hurting anybody else. And I'd rather not set anything that powerful on the rest of the world. It's not the pinnacle of power by any means, but it is something that
Still,
can
sure.
cause harm.
So Xenia just slowly starts taking the sword out of the sheath.
Question. We have a long rest since last time?
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
the morning.
Just double checking. Oh, Astra gets 3 radiant souls now.
It's always equal to your wisdom modifier.
Yay.
Neat.
It would definitely be a good idea to probably get rid of that dragon.
Yeah, we can like stop him on the trip to Pinel. Should we start the trip to Pinel? Are we going to Pinel?
I figured
We were probably going to Pinel.
we'd already started.
You guys never said so.
Okay, fine. Rosalind starts up the thing and
We can assume you have. Yeah, that's fine.
points it in general direction, general distance that she knows. And then turns to
Rosalind
everybody
and
and says, "We really need to get a map and measuring and navigation tools down there."
Yeah.
Rosalind and Esther with Rosalind normally, Esther with disadvantage. Roll me a history check.
Who?
You with disadvantage and Rosalind normally.
Okay. Why me with disadvantage? Oh, right.
You'll see when he explains it.
13 for mine.
Just waiting for Esther's there.
Sorry, it's just taking a minute.
Yep. Switching to disadvantage and advantage always do. Because yeah, this will affect the potential trajectory you guys take. Okay,
Ooh,
good enough.
12.
You guys would both know, partially from hearsay, partially from your time with the goblins, that Pinel is more of a it's not a third city. It is the name given to whichever stronghold of the goblinoids that the general resides at.
Okay.
Oh.
You would also know that most of the strongholds are mobile to great men.
Mhm.
That being said,
Are what, sorry?
Mobile.
Oh. Mobile, you say?
Mhm.
so if you guys wish, you can head to the Pinel that you.
Let's head to the center of the Plains of Wrath.
That'd be a good start.
Yeah. Equal distance to anything, even if we have to backtrack a little bit.
There it is. take a couple of hours.
How many? Because Esther would want to meditate for a few.
Are we
What's
dealing
the-
with the dragon first?
Oh yeah, sorry, we're dealing
We're
with
dealing with the dragon.
What's
Can
the
I
max
actually-
speed again?
90
What's that?
miles an hour, you said.
Okay, that's what I thought. So about 2.5 hours. Unless you guys don't want to go max speed.
I should just do something real quick. Can he like get in his brain palace thing at all? Like where he was talking to his Fane on like physically?
You
Or is that-
can. We'll do that after we decide where the castle's going.
All right. I thought we decided just in the plains of wrath and go from there.
Well, just guys going full speed.
I mean, I don't see why not. Do we need several hours on the castle before getting there?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
All
We're
right.
just gonna do some light rest or something and then kill a dragon.
Yeah.
Normal Saturday.
For us, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Full
it's happened
speed.
twice already.
We will take care of
Oh.
the dragon.
By the way, if I'm not mistaken, anyone who had their 1 week spells, they recovered last.
I get yeet back? Yes.
I regret everything I just said. Alright. So I'll move the castle just in advance. That little pink dot, which, actually, that castle's big.
It's a big boy.
Yeah, isn't it like a hex?
It's a
30-mile radius.
Yeah, it's bigger than a hex.
brother.
Yeah, 3 hexes, that's what I thought.
Oh dear God.
Dear God.
Wait,
what the
radius
fuck?
or diameter?
Oh, sorry, diameter, so it's a hex and a half.
Yeah, 30-mile diameter. Okay.
Radius. Big fucking boy.
Wow. We are here just got a lot bigger.
You are somewhere within here. Don't go measuring the exact... Fuck off, die.
Jesus Christ.
Alright, fine, I guess I'll fix it.
Let's just go kill the fucking dragon.
Yeah.
We won't measure it if you don't do it inaccurately.
We're-
Sound like a deal?
Lord. There,
We're
now
ganking
it's
the
big.
dragon,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
Yes. Is this going to be
Just
a
leave
thing
it
that
for now.
actually...
Stop!
Connor, that's 15.1. Come on.
Oh
Just
my
leave
God.
that!
I will stab you, Devin, I swear to God.
Can we go?
You're already
Oh,
going to. I have nothing to lose at this
Oh
point.
my god.
I was gonna punch you before, now I'll stab you.
Oh no,
Can you
your
please go kill
your
the
knuckles are bony
POW?
enough.
Go, they'll defenestrate you.
Okay, okay. Conrad, is taking care of that dragon in the cage going to be a full combat? Because,
No, not at all. It's a dragon stuck in a cage.
yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
You guys could, honestly, if you wanted to, just tell the Firebirds to take care of it, and they would.
Alright. Can we
Yeah,
tell...
that's
should
a
we
little
tell
less
them...
interesting.
Should we
Yeah,
also
could
take care of
Ashton
the
just-
eggs?
I was gonna say,
Morning.
could I actually get the last shot on the dragon just so
Wait, what
Essence
egg?
has some nice thing to munch on?
Yeah, sure.
He's not swapping it. He's not swapping out the slot. He's just
But just food.
Food.
Sure.
and just as he go, as he like, it's just like, don't say I don't do anything for you.
She hums happily and says, alright, you're forgiven for some of your past missteps.
Oh, did we just kill the dragon?
If you guys, again,
Yeah.
not yet, but if you
Yeah.
want to do anything beforehand, let me know now.
I heard something about the eggs. Was that said aloud?
Yeah, I was asking if we were gonna take care of those eggs as well, the dragon eggs.
Okay, was that Ariel asking or Ross?
That's
asking?
Ariel asking.
Okay,
Esther's
planning.
gonna slowly cook and just... What eggs?
that was Ariel asking, not
That
Ross.
was
That was Ariel asking.
Sorry.
For the second time.
Esther
Sorry.
does not know about the eggs.
I don't know, honestly. We'll probably end up maybe getting rid of...
Out of character, make some omelets.
Yeah,
No.
out of
No.
character, Firebirds... No,
Those are gonna
Firebirds
be
don't
sour.
Like the unborn.
Yeah.
Firebirds
You
didn't
can
want to
always
be involved
yoke
with
them.
the unborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does not want to do the risk of trying to raise those things.
Yeah, because they could be innately not good. While
Yeah.
you guys are
Ash-
dealing with the dragon,
That's just very conflicted because on the one hand, the black dragons, on the other, they haven't had a chance at life yet. So
Yeah.
Esther also has experience with dragon younglings because of the training and stuff she got from the one guy.
well,
Ash-
Pierce is a gold dragon.
Ashton goes up
These
to
are
the monarch. And he goes, I'm assuming you're aware of the find we had in the ground.
I am, yes.
How young can a being be if they were to be given Fane?
Vile.
I suppose it is technically possible they don't have to be even born yet, as long as they're able to conceive a thought.
And Fane are pure beings there.
They are.
They
Oh.
would.
They are purely neutral beings. I believe them to be good. But I believe the value in neutrality as well.
And they would be an asset if one were to say do their best to make sure they grow up aside from their implied nature.
They are purely knowledge. They are neither good nor bad. If knowledge is what is required for a being to be good, then they are good.
Well, I don't see much else that could influence something.
Family,
Fane are memories. Memories have emotion as well.
that is true. And they will show true with memories that requested of them. But a being such as one so young knows no better than to simply explore.
Would you be willing to oversee such a endeavor?
That depends greatly on what you're about to ask me.
If we were to find a way to give them the unborn dragons. We're going to be busy. We don't have the time to do something like that. And it's just, I take up issue with something that hasn't had a chance to be. And the nature of things, it's... I'm not exactly as pure as my heritage would lead you to believe. Still,
I will tell you this, Ashton. A young being is at its most pliable. But a young being learns quicker than any other. If you combine that with the power of the Fane, they will mature quicker and more efficiently than any being could naturally. That is what you'd be granting them. If you would ask me if I would raise one, I would not. That is a promise I made over a millennia ago. If you would choose to raise one away from here, I would not stop you. But this castle is sacred.
so they may not remain here.
The tunnel may remain theirs, but the castle may not.
Sorry, say that again?
The tunnels may remain theirs, but the castle may not.
May I also remind you that Esther knows the dragon dude in Lucerne. He'd probably be more than happy to take on a few eggs.
I don't... That dude has a lot of dragons.
Did he
have
any?
chromatic?
He did have
Chromatic?
chromatic.
He did?
He didn't have many, but he did have some.
Like, he's experienced in them.
Okay, so if we don't give them Fane, we just kind of leave them be, keep them in storage, so to speak, and hope they don't hatch before we can get to Lucerne with this. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If we brought that guy on board,
Do we want him and his entire dragon shop?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
Not,
No,
it's not a
listen.
priority
Yeah.
right now.
Listen,
I know
Not a
it's-
priority.
I know. Okay, Sky, you are so biased right now.
Here's the thing.
It was an offer. Hey,
The monarch-
fuck, it was an offer.
The monarch just said those dragons do not come into the castle, they can be in the caverns, but not the castle. I don't know what her stance is on the area outside the castle. Do we...
The outside the castle is not holy ground. It is the castle is holy ground. That is it.
Okay.
Ash will also bring up if they were to grow up to be exemplary of nurture over nature, would you be more lenient on your rule of them not entering, sense of the father and all?
If the promise must be reforged in a more forgiving manner, then it may be done. But understandably, I'm not comfortable with dealing with beings such as that on a normal basis.
I understand.
And no, Ashton's not out of earshot. He's in the courtyard of you guys.
Cool. Essen
Oh,
just...
I assume that this whole conversation was taking place not with Estes nearby, because they were on their way to do the dragon thing. Question.
I was
We
was
weren't
waiting
gonna
to do the
leave
dragon
you
killing.
behind.
I
You were on
was
the last
thinking
shot. I
that-
assumed if they were going, you were going too.
Yeah.
And also
Okay.
the answer on the dragon eggs was probably a thing too, because Xenia was probably gonna go take care of the dragon eggs while you guys took care of the dragon.
And Esther's probably sitting there now, like, really confused.
Okay, yeah, this was never specified, and I feel like it should have been if it were the case.
I imagine if it was waiting for you to specify otherwise, I apologize. We can
Well,
assume that it
no one else
not-
was no one else was saying anything, so you
No, that's fine.
can't
But if
really
you want
blame
to, if the party is there and you want to avoid the party hearing it, you have to tell me that.
he would have just asked that the party go ahead. He'll catch up in a minute.
Okay, then you would have had to say that for me to know.
Okay, it went from out of character to in character.
So we'll assume in that case that let's go ahead. So conversation continue.
Okay. Yeah, at that point, he's mostly done. Just like I said, I don't want to end something like that so early, but I also don't want to leave them to go wild in the world, so I feel responsible.
Such is the burden of ownership.
Out of character, we can send Fane messages to the monarch, right?
No.
No, because that would require you
No.
to commingle with him.
And her fame
Okay,
is
and the
powerful.
commingle doesn't work.
Yeah, the commingle will fuck you up.
Okay, but could we do it to a Firebird and just have the Firebird send them?
Yeah, that's why the birds always ask you first that they commingle with you.
Okay, yep. Gotcha. Okay, yep. I'll send a messenger for our final decision just to keep you in the know, but I think there's at least a short conversation we need to have among.
I will remain here.
He gives a hand wave, thank you again, and walks off.
She nods, and as you guys walk in, you start to see the beginnings of the dwarves returning to the courtyard.
Ashta gets downstairs to find the rest of the party has already killed the dragon, because he stayed behind for several minutes to talk with the monarch.
Alright then.
Specify!
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
this is feeling like a
Savage.
lot of hope implied that's
know.
not fucking happening right now.
Goodness.
Well, let's roll a d20 to see how quickly the dragon
Yeah,
can be killed.
if you want us to wait a little bit, or maybe we...
No, I'm just wondering if how quick you can do it without Ash's DPS.
Yeah, so go ahead and roll me a d20, not Ashta, Rosalind.
Sure. D20, 19!
Dragon's dead.
19.
Alright.
Dragon's dead.
It was able to give a sort of fight back, but only through a single use of its breath weapon. It did not.
All
So
right,
the dragon's dead now?
It is.
Yep, I guess we rescind that essence conversation.
How many eggs are there?
Yep.
The eggs are not there.
Not in this room.
No,
They're not
no,
in there.
Xenia asked how many eggs were there. That's why I was curious.
Xenia's
sorry.
taking care of it. Yeah.
It was about half a dozen.
Xenia's taking care of
Okay,
the
that's not bad.
eggs.
Okay. No, I'm not taking care of the eggs because we haven't made that decision yet.
About half a dozen or half a dozen?
Like 6 or 7.
Baker's dozen, half a baker's dozen. What is?
6.
All right.
Okay, so half a dozen. Easy to take care of if they show early signs.
Just
You're
pillow
also-
over the face, you know.
We were also fucking up adult black dragons during that entire dragon fight, so I think we're good. I think they were
Yeah.
adult.
They were
No,
adult.
they weren't adult.
They were
They
adult.
were,
Okay.
they were,
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
Asher returned and just, oh, he started the party without me.
Sorry, he was just right there. And
He
Yeah.
was also weak.
he
and
was
injured.
also being incredibly rude.
Yeah,
Okay.
Honestly, probably.
I'm sure Essence would have enjoyed the
Probably.
snack as well.
it's just kind of
I'm
dick.
sorry.
That's alright, Ashton.
There's
You
not
don't
enough
have to
meat on the soul bone, I don't think.
That's what you think.
Yeah,
Essence appears right
he
over your shoulder.
grabs
She
the
goes,
crossbow.
That's alright, you plan to join a war, don't you? I believe I'll find my fill there.
Considering if we're going to be fighting potentially a Zodiac, I think she'll have a wonderful soul to snack on.
Which, if this one you don't decide to kidnap, I would much appreciate to taste it.
We shall see.
I think we're a bit too confident on being able to kill a Zodiac.
I said if. I said we are potentially to face a Zodiac. I never said we'd win.
You were like, yeah, Essence would have a great meal like have with a Zodiac. So it's like, that's assuming.
I mean,
we'd
she
be
probably
able to
would
get
enjoy the
one.
duel.
Well,
Speaking of which, we may want to speak to Aquarius about maybe some knowledge on Sagittarius. Get maybe a bit more background information on this.
she might not be that willing to share. Technically, he is
I
her ally. Technically.
technically, but
She said that
whereas she strives for peace,
yes,
he does not.
and didn't she say something about neutrality in this? She doesn't help us per se, but doesn't work against us? I'm
She
not
was
sure, I
just-
don't remember.
For all
She
the
was to remain neutral in a sense. She'll remain
pleasantries
with us
between you
until
and
this
her,
war's over.
between outside of all the pleasantries between you and her, she's a prisoner of war that we kidnapped.
Yes, and she has information. Therefore, it should at least be asked.
And Asher like crosses his arms. Has this not been asked yet?
No, it hasn't. Hence why I've brought it up.
Alright, if you think that you can convince her to say anything to you, then so be it. Just please stop going at each other's throats all the time. Specifically the two of you.
I asked a question, that is all.
Yes,
You
I
can ease
know,
off of
but
me, and
it
it'd be
seems
wonderful.
seems that somehow every time that one of you asks the other a question, it escalates in tone for no reason. Is there something that you need to talk about, talk out? Or is this something that needs to be just laid to rest and set aside?
You say you ask a question, but I don't know if you realize that sometimes the way that you word your things and in the tone in which you carry them implies a lot more than what you might be intending to mean.
Out of character, okay, so we're doing this now. In character. He's
Oh, no.
gonna
Ariel
lean.
brought it up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was hoping
Yeah.
it might solve things.
He kind of leans back. Well, then I'm sorry if it comes off like, but I hope you understand the difference in opinion and point of view that can happen.
Ashta, your
when
tone.
she's-
Again.
I'm
please.
trying my best, Rosalind. Help me out here.
It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you are
No.
barely refraining from attacking.
I
Esther-
am, but I'm not.
Esther had the
And I'm
same
trying to
tone
take a step
moment ago.
forward here. And I'd appreciate it if you didn't step on the attempt to do so.
I'm not stepping on the attempt. I'm trying to make you aware of it, so you can rein it in just a little bit.
I've been made aware of it.
Please.
I'm not trying to lash out at you, Ashta. I'm truly not.
I am worried that the one I see as up until we had our confrontation and encounter, an absolute enemy. I'm worried about the problems that could arise with you you can so close to her. I'm worried for us, I'm worried for you. And quite frankly, at this point, I'm worried for her as well. We're going to be fighting other Zodiacs.
Yes.
If any of your emotional investment comes to surface to any of them, that can be used against either of you.
I have no attachment to any of the other zodiacs. To me, they are as good as dead.
But you do have one to Aquarius.
I have a relative attachment to Aquarius. At the end of the day, my priorities lie with this group and our current mission. Yeah, it would be sad if things should have to come to a nasty turn. However, I have already told you that this group comes first, and that this mission comes first.
I don't doubt your intentions. I'm
But you
worried
doubt
that
my ability to carry them through.
I'm worried that the emotions can cloud things. Because that's how things happen. That's how my things happened.
At this point, Rayla will fly out of the pocket. She'll fly over to Esther. Kind of sit on her shoulder. You both sound like concerned mothers.
I thought that was only supposed to be my territory.
He's more of a protective type of mother. Who, rather than fear for their child and let them walk first, would rather warn them. But we at least agree. Esther, you as well tend to escalate, so please, just let's look for a middle ground. Ashta, we need to put the mission first, right? So we need to get information. So a question is worth asking, even if it gets denied. But Esther realized that by asking the question, he's worried that you'll, over time, get closer and eventually be hurt. If you're willing to risk that, then we're in agreement, right?
Yes.
Ashton?
Yes.
Alright. Now? Ashta, do you want to try meditating with me?
I think I have mine to get to later today.
Alright.
I
But-
wanted to go ahead.
Just, please just have some trust in me. I do know at least some things that I'm doing. And
One of my squad members sounded a lot like that.
I would assume so, but I mean, I'd like not to die again. And
The
I'm
feeling's
gonna do a
mutual.
lot of things to make sure that I don't. And if I get
So am
hurt for
I.
the sake of this proceeding, then I at least have my group to lean on. So,
Just don't die.
believe me, I
Cross his
don't plan
face.
to. I don't feel like going back to that woman.
No
And
one
her-
plans to, Esther. Doesn't make me less worried about you.
She's gonna hold out her arms to give him a hug. And I'm worried about you as well. But I get it. We're both passionate people in that sense of argument. Let's just maybe attempt to use that fuel for some other fire. If you'll forgive the metaphor.
Rayla giggles.
It's not a metaphor, that's a pun. He does like a half hug.
Alright, well, if that's
There's a slight
all,
screech as
then-
Rayla wiggles out between the two of you.
Fire on one side, metal on the other.
Exactly. She's between a flame and a hard place.
Oh, for
I'm
God's
stuck in a forge.
She does like the Tinkerbell, like
Please tell me like when Ray like gets heavily jostled, there's like a little bell jingling.
I mean, she does have like a little bell in her hair.
Yes.
That's usually the only way you can locate her.
Yes.
Well, if that's all then, I think I'll go ask Aquarius those questions. If any of you would like to come with me, you're more than welcome.
He like tilts his head. You know you don't mean everyone, right?
I mean, I really don't mind, but it's up to what you think is best.
We want you to be successful. I'm not.
She
If you want
might.
me to be successful, then I would advise you not to come and potentially meditate with Rayla.
I was about to say she might
Yeah.
not react so well. You go ahead. Thank you
Unless-
Yeah.
so much, both of you.
I mean, she does seem to like Caius.
Oh yeah. Hey guys.
She does
Yeah.
seem to like Caius.
As it tilts his head, it's like, does he? Oh my God, Xenia.
Getting suplexed. Getting suplexed.
Oh damn! Roll disadvantage suplex resistance.
Me?
I was on Caius.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you
Okay.
just yoded at
By the way, Xenia, that's I know, you
Suplex
rolled
is
everything.
action.
yeah. Roll disadvantage athletics check to combat that.
Surprise round.
Yeah, surprise round.
Wow.
Disadvantage. Athletics.
It's Caius, isn't it?
Yeah. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Disadvantage always slows.
20.
Yeah. So she spears you around the waist, and just as you turn to like tear her hands off, boom.
The hell?
All right, Caius, roll for concussion.
Esther bursts into laughter.
Joking, I'm
do it,
joking,
do
I'm
it.
joking,
What's
I'm
that
joking.
say?
I was gonna
I'm
say,
joking.
I can
well,
carry
you
concussion. I can
did-
carry
you did
concussion.
knock him on the head there, bro.
I think I can too now.
Alright, so as Caius, you thankfully are used to breaking your fall. You kind of roll out of the grip and lay on the ground because, yeah, you rolled out. You're gonna have some sore shoulders after this.
Just the whole like upper, like lower neck, upper like.
Yeah, like the base of your spine and the shoulders is just not happy.
Oh.
They're done bickering.
Is this how you celebrate?
Concrete.
Rayla flutters over to you, Caius, and it's like, I can turn you into an armadillo if it make you feel any better.
I'll pass.
Okay.
Xenia, having seen this, I hope you will forgive me if I avoid standing beside you during any future arguments.
What is
Oh no, it
Christmas like at your house?
usually Cam doing that, so I've learned well. Don't worry, Rosalind, I only do it to people who can fight back.
Well, I feel
Ashton,
very wounded
like,
now.
looks like-
I
and
feel
he's like,
incredibly wounded.
Well,
if I didn't
Rosalind,
know any better, I'd ask you to suplex her right now, but don't.
Oh my god, can we
Rosalind,
please not attack
Rosalind.
each other?
What?
Can you break? Xenia's gonna just grapple Rosalind.
No. Okay, a grapple allows allows
It does.
acrobatics.
Oh!
Hey, the athletics
She's
are
out of
acrobatics.
there.
Oh!
Yeah, as soon as you go to like grab her wrist, it's immediately like a twist out in like a stance. It's like, oh,
She twists
Oh,
out,
shit, that
stands,
was
and then
good.
spins around behind like Ashta or something. First human shield available.
Please
Good. That was good.
Ashley leans over. Understand what you've done now, right?
But Rosalind, I will never suplex you. I do want to say, he can handle concussions, but if I do give you a concussion, I'll apologize profusely.
You could have
and
just
he'll
said you don't want to suplex anyone in a dress. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I can wear dresses and Caius can suplex me, so that's a precedence.
Also, I'm not exactly in a dress anymore. Fully. So to
Just have
speak.
a skirt.
Half a skirt.
Rayla puts her
That's good.
Rayla puts her hand up. Please don't suplex me. I'm pretty sure I would just explode into dust.
You were about to do
Exactly.
it to us if you kept that belt.
No, that's fine. But if you suplex me, I'll probably just explode.
I want to see Rayla suplex me one day. Keep that in
Can
mind.
we-
I'll keep that in mind.
Give me the belt back and I'll do it.
No,
there a way to make-
Not
we-
now.
that's a good idea. That's not a good idea.
Can we find a way to make Rayla hardier? I feel like the subject of her being splattered against multiple things has come up too often.
I mean, I'd appreciate it if you did. I mean, work. So now turn myself into a gorilla.
Is there a...
But
Can we
if
please stop
anything,
flipping each
if
other?
anything wounds you enough to turn you back into Rayla and then some, you'll be done.
Oh, that would. Yeah. But I'll be a lovely flower after.
No.
I'm sure you'd be beautiful, but I'd rather not deal with that. As far
Yeah.
as I know,
Asha
flowers
takes-
don't speak.
Asha takes his finger and just like smushes Rayla's face and is like, enough.
She goes, okay.
Let's not die,
Hey,
please.
that's revenge for you drinking, by the way. Imagine watching that every day. Just saying.
Lived.
Yeah, so did I.
He like grabs her, stuffs her in the armor, and walks off.
Z's gonna look at Caius. Hey, Caius.
Oh man.
I'm gonna go.
Alright, more important question.
Am I
Are you
prepared
bringing
for it this
Caius
time?
into the pot to talk with Aquarius?
Some of them are. Rosalind's gonna go
if
after Ashta to
Caius-
talk to him.
If Caius desires to, then Esther like, yeah, sure, but it's up to Caius.
Asha
Yeah,
calls
Caius-
back as Xenia suplexes Kai, and it's just like, if you don't stop the roughhousing, I'm going to turn this castle around.
Oh
Ugh.
no, you will not. I'm in control of it.
Sorry, I just always wanted to say that.
Okay.
That's fair.
I swear, for the love of can we please get the show on the road?
Alright, yeah, well, I'm coming with.
Alright. I need to meditate. I think I need to calm down.
Alright,
Hey,
Xenia,
you're
do you
bloodthirsty
mind,
there, Xenia.
can you watch the pot, please, for me?
Watch the pot. Where's... I'm
It's
gonna
going-
oh.
I'm gonna set it on the floor, just setting it relatively near you.
Alrighty. If I hear fighting, I'll jump in and suplex Caius. Got it.
Alright,
What?
and Esther's gonna jump into the pot.
I guess Caius will follow suit.
Tell me
Alright.
if you have a concussion.
As you two kind of like land on the pot, immediately you're covered in dogs and puppies, which is fantastic. As Aquarius is dead asleep with a griffin asleep on her stomach.
Alright, we have one of those.
Esther will just kind of gently approach.
There's yapping, and after a moment or two, she wakes up and goes, "I just fed you guys a minute." Oh, hello.
Hi, sleepyhead.
Hey, look, I don't have much to do here. I'm running out of books.
I'm not teasing. I'm gonna be exploring the castle soon to see if there's anything I can bring for you.
Huh.
But there are a few questions I need to ask you.
Did you bring coffee?
Shit.
That's okay. You owe me one
Right.
there.
I
Uh,
can do that.
The questions, and you'll forgive me if I brush my teeth while we talk.
No, go ahead.
She
I'm...
pulls out a toothbrush from her bag and
I know you want to remain neutral, and I completely respect that. Are there potentially things you can tell us about the way Sagittarius fights?
Or
very
any
toothpaste-filled
information, really.
glare is sent your way.
I'll take that as a no.
Didn't think so.
I thought it would be worthwhile to ask.
She kind of like takes a little cup and like spits into it and goes, "I will tell you one thing. He's primarily an archer, but he's also strong."
I assumed as much.
Rude. As well, he is. I believe I told you before, but he is a mounted combatant. He's used to being in the saddle.
Right. Saddles and bows. Okay. Does he
He's dangerous.
use any particular type of magic?
I'll be honest, he is rather cruel, and I try to avoid him as best I can. I don't know much. He had a slight, obsession with my squads, where he was always attempting to get a hand on some of the gliders we used. Think of it as a
Oh.
different mount for his men. One that
I
didn't have to be fed or housed. So I
oh,
generally don't associate with him.
okay. Good to know. Alright. Well, thank you. I'm sorry I bothered you. I thought it might be as well to ask. How is the Griffin doing?
Oh, he's growing well. He seems comfortable.
Have you given him a name?
Not yet. Kind of just he just like takes like the fur slightly behind his ears and just fluffs it forward. He's got like a tiny mane and he makes like a little cooing sound. It's like just kind of he's very clingy. I think he's imprinted on me just a little bit.
Well, if you were there when he woke up from being injured, I'm sure he would.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, hippogriff, not griffin. Thank you. Oh. If you have a name in mind, I'll happily take it.
Remember, I think we had been discussing it for a while, just tossing it back and forth. I think the concept Oikrig came up.
As a DM, I hate you. Wig.
Oirig.
I'm not correcting myself, Rosalind. I'm sorry. Just gonna like almost like tastes the word and kind of go, is that I don't know what language that is. What language is that?
In character or out of character?
In character. Sorry, out of character.
Gaelic.
Gaelic? Alright, so it's probably roughly Draconic.
It's
Although no, Draconic's
okay.
German. Oh, what language did I say was Gaelic? I don't remember. I'll have to figure that out.
It's insert language here.
Yeah, basically. It's probably like a dialect of some weird fucking language I can't think of right now.
Alrighty.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Don't
Yeah.
let him don't let him take you away.
I'm gonna try not to.
What do you
Your
mean?
friends. He is a fan of having prisoners.
Oh,
You said he was cruel, right?
Yes.
I will try not to get taken away.
Do your best.
I will.
Yeah, you will.
Caius, do you mind
Yeah?
possibly going up for a second? I'd just like to have a moment alone.
And he'll get out of the pot or whatever.
The puppies try to follow you, but it doesn't work.
Oh.
Oh, just imagine the
Little hands,
Yep, basically.
tugging at the rope.
hind legs up, and just front ones going.
And Esther's just gonna look at Aquarius and just... Would it be possible if I could have a hug?
She puts the hippogriff down for a moment. It like flutters onto her shoulder. She kind of just sighs and goes, "Just be careful not to knock him off."
I will attempt not to.
As a note, he's like the size of a large cat. He's big. But she gives you a hug.
Esther just kind of squeeze tight and just... Thank you.
You are facing a difficult path. I'll help you where I can, Esther.
I know you desire to remain neutral, and I'll respect that as much as I possibly can. I'm sorry if any question that I might ask for advice is a bit too much. I'm sorry.
If it's too much, I will let you. There's no
Okay,
harm in asking. I understand that.
good. I'm glad. Is there anything you would like to ask of me, possibly?
Coffee, please, next time. I'm so thirsty. I haven't had coffee in weeks. I've been getting headaches. It's gotten terrible. Please.
course. I
We used to
will
pour it
find.
over the shards of ice and add a bit of goat's milk to it. Oh my god, I miss coffee.
I like it too. It was hard having withdrawals when I left my tribe.
Even just the smell, anything.
I will. I will get it for you as soon as I possibly can find it.
Just keep it away from the dogs when you do. It's not good for them.
I will. I will give it to you personally. Don't worry.
Thank you. Good luck.
And as she's kind of climbing up the rope, just, do I get a kiss for good luck?
She just looks and says, if you get back, maybe.
Huh?
If you come back, maybe.
Incentive to stay alive then.
I hoped you already had enough of that, but alright.
And she'll climb up the ladder and get out there.
And you do so, and you find, I assume, Caius and Xenia nearby.
Yeet.
Okay, it's nearby Xenia.
Yes.
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Alright. So, any last preparations you guys do?
Rosalind was gonna go talk to Ashta.
Alright.
Just somewhere, like, she follows him when he walks away and calls out, like, Fane to Fane, just real quick, Ashta, there's something I thought of, and it's a sore subject for you, but if you can bear or spare a moment,
Alright, I'm listening.
let's go into this room here, and just
Alright.
around, like, a corner or something.
Yep.
I know that...
Hold on. Real quick, roll me a d20.
Who, me? What?
Just roll a d20.
Okay. D20, 10.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright. Now I'm
The
worried.
castle's inhabited now.
Okay. Okay. Does it seem relatively clear then?
Oh, yeah, no, it's clear. I was just wondering if I was basically rolling. I have a little thing of just like random stuff that can happen if you try to find somewhere private.
Interesting. Okay.
Keep your secret.
We did not walk in on a couple of dwarves making out. Good to know.
It is on the table somewhere.
I had a feeling.
I love that you both immediately went to shagging in terms of like, oh,
Yeah,
we
I
shouldn't
didn't go
be in
that
this.
far, but thank you.
I mean, hey, dwarves want to
Alright,
get
alright.
jiggy.
Okay.
That's not.
She's going to bring up. I know this is probably something either you've thought of and haven't wanted to say, or haven't thought of because it hurts, I expect.
I appreciate the lead-in at least.
The hybrid knows everything you knew up until the point of shooting bow and drifting in that sea.
Yep.
The surviving member of your old squad, Carson. You don't know precisely where he is, but you have a general idea, don't you?
No, I know exactly what you mean, and you're absolutely right.
And in addition, the hybrid is searching for people out of your past and presumably out of the pasts of others of us who have died and have graves.
Well,
Might he? Were there graves that you knew of for the ones who didn't make it?
there was... I hadn't thought about this part because, well, it was something I kind of forced myself to make peace with, really. If he's half of me, I really don't. If he does what you're implying, he's much less predictable than even I think.
I don't think that you would do what you said you saw him doing in that dream.
No, but
He's already...
he was just created and well. My mom was the one who brought me here.
I suppose I can see a little of that line of logic, but...
I can see a bit more of it, and quite frankly, it's horrifying, but if he were to follow such a thread, did at some point go back in that accursed place. I guess no longer accursed, but I cleared it out. I found and retrieved what I could. I don't believe I'd have a hard time finding exactly where. I wasn't exactly taking everything in at the time, but as far as I know, it shouldn't be too far off from where the location itself was.
So if it crossed his mind, and it might not, but if it did, then we may need to be prepared for that eventuality. And on the
I'm worried about the one above ground.
yes, on that subject, the dream spell. I'm not sure I could target it precisely or as accurately. I've never met him, but if you're willing to maybe share a few memories, maybe that would allow enough second-hand, not quite second-hand familiarity to... Basically tonight, before sleep, I could try to do the dream spell and put you in the trance and target Carson so that at the very least, if the hybrid stumbles across him, he won't be completely tricked into thinking it's you fully. Completely.
Quite frankly, I think I'm going to have a hell of a time convincing him to understand what a dream version of me is saying. Hopefully I have enough details about myself that are different. He'll think it's a bit more of a stretch for him to make it up on his own, but I could give you an idea, and some new avenues have opened up on that front. He taps the inside of his temple.
That will help. We don't have to do this, but if you agree, if you think that it's something
I should warn him.
important,
You're absolutely right.
then tonight, and
Maybe, could I give you an idea right now and give you time to, I guess, sort through whatever memories I send your way?
well, of course. She'll close her eyes and just prepare for whatever influx of thought or memory might come along the vein.
Can you give me like a minute?
Of course.
I need to have a talk with my new old residents.
Whenever you're ready, I'll just wait here. She'll find a place to sit down, just immediate area, and wait.
Can he jump into his head thoughts mind palace?
As you do, it's much more uniformly well constructed compared to how it was before. And as you kind of envision the place you met the Ix and the Fane, you see just the Fane and a broken pair of handcuffs on the ground.
He looks down. Is that supposed to represent something?
They look at it and look back to you and... Is it aligned?
How does it feel to be, Well, I imagine you're sorting through some of your own stuff right now, aren't you?
The Ix were once Fane. This is... a welcome return of an old friend, in a strange way.
So... the dragon had Fane before?
No. But... the original Ix was a Fane first. Similar to, well, those legends of, Lucifer.
Like my horse. And now that's in my head. Well then,
In your head.
I know, just... Okay. Is there any... from the bit that was always here, to the bit that just got a trip to rehab, is there any worry there? Is there any risk of returning to the less favorable state?
The white fire is a powerful force. It Nyx converted is a Fane through and
Sorry,
through.
say that again?
The white fire is a powerful force.
I think he's gone.
Ah, shit.
No, I
Oh,
hear him.
that's the
Oh, I can hear him.
Oh, sorry.
Wait,
That's
am I gone?
I
I
can
might be
hear-
gone.
Yeah, I hear
Oh,
him.
I hear you
Yeah.
guys.
Okay.
Huh.
We can
Oh,
hear
okay.
Conrad.
real good.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should be.
All right. The white fire are a powerful force, and Nyx converted is once more a Fane through and through. You have no more reason to fear as you do Fane normally.
Alright. And the white fire's in me now.
It is, though it is spark, as you've used most of its heat.
I know, I can feel that.
It will return.
When it does, do I need... Let's say I picked up some stray Thane, a stray Ix along the road again. Is it possible? Is it less likely? Now that I've got them who know what the stopover is like?
It's likely you will probably recognize them far quicker. And much more in advance. If it is returned, it will offer a layer of protection, yes.
And like leans back. I in no means want to say this is an idea I'm actively pursuing. You know what I'm thinking, but
If you welcome Fane Ix back into your mind,
if I were to receive not just a few seeds, but a large chunk of them, willing or unwilling, not just small little seeds to start, but a full-on improper.
as you saw, white fire can always be returned to dark fire, just as Fane can always be returned to Ix. You would be more resistant, but if they succeed, you are also more vulnerable. Just like if the monarch were to be taken over, your request should be put down immediately. It is not an unreasonable request.
Two warring sides, and if one loses, the other picks up the weapons.
Precisely. Imagine what would happen if one of the Zodiacs took your armor, your weapons, and then turned them on your friends.
Ah, damn, you really are my Fane, aren't you? Okay. Well, if that's that, can you dig up some memories of Carson to send Rosalind's way?
As you wish. Do you wish for more pleasant or the most recent?
What exactly is the most recent?
Moments before his passing. Still before the actual event that caused it, but
For his passing.
Carson
Or
just died.
out of character, like what?
like before the fight.
Carson didn't die.
I know that
Yeah.
it died. It's as basically before they were attacked.
Okay, yeah, before he got
So I
knocked
meant when I said like I meant to say they, as in like the whole group.
Okay.
Okay.
Did Ashton not meet him at all after that?
He did, but it was not a pretty sight.
The focus might not exactly be clear on that one, huh?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, maybe some of the better ones, and if you can make sure there less of ones about him teasing me, but if you find that to be a very, very low pool to pull from, then fine, make some exceptions.
That is one of them, but if you'd like, I do have just before he went to go to bed, the night before the combat, as he was reminiscing with you. But that may be a bit depressing for her, perhaps?
I'll give her a warning. And if not, maybe do pick up one of the something or other. Just not about the height.
We'll do our best.
Esther doesn't need any more fuel to that fire. My God, she's a fire.
Alright, and go ahead and describe Carson if you'd like.
Basically, human, fair skin, this kind of like straight long hair pulled back, and usually a shit-eating grin on his face.
Oh, I remember. I drew this.
Yep. For everyone else. And for the recording. Hell, actually, if you want to go dig up that one,
If I can find it.
yeah, if you can. No rush or anything.
Sure.
Yeah, but outside of that, yeah, just kind of a human guy, and again, bit of a shit-eating grin. Also went by the Joker because he was god awful at gambling, but you couldn't tell by his confidence. Yes, this is one of V's squad mates, and it is the one who survived outside of
Oh.
Vesta.
Ah, I thought it was only Ashta who survived.
As far as he knew when he got out of there, yes.
Ah, fuck.
But afterwards, there was at first a recognizing of one body, and later the proper awkward meetup in which Astra wasn't exactly on his feet. So yeah, but that's it, and he'll send that memory over to. Well, first he'll just out of character just ask Rosalind's like, I have a It was one of the most recent ones before the incident, but it might be a bit of a less than happy one. Are you okay with that?
Can you give me a sampling besides? I don't want to base what little I know on just a single incident and emotion. Something that gives a
There's this
broader
li-
picture of him. If
There's
you
this
can.
like frustrated look on his face. Like, yeah, I wish you. I knew you'd say it. I wish you didn't. And he goes back and he pulls up one of Carson, giving him a hard time, and then that one, and sends them both.
They're on the back of a cart, and you can see Ashta beginning to aim his crossbow at a deer through his eyes, obviously. And you hear a voice next to him like, "Don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss." And the shot fire, and it goes off and hits like the deer in the leg, and it starts stumbling. He goes, "Oh, come on!" And starts ribbing him for that. It's bickering.
Mhm.
Of a much younger and a much happier sounding Ashta.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
Oh. All right.
Just kidding. They were all sad memories.
Just depends on what way you look at them.
Yep. Pretty much. All right. And the other one?
The other one is by a campfire nearby where you recognize the shrine was. They're kind of talking quietly in the distance. You could hear other people. But Ashton and Carson are sitting by the fire playing cards. You can see it looks like a squirrel roasting on a stick. And Carson talking about how, he's been around for a while, and you can see Carson might have had a drink or two, but like, I give you a hard time, Ashta, but it's only because I know you can take it, If I make funny like this, you get too confident. Go ahead and show it off to everyone you meet, rather than just our friends here. But, I appreciate you, buddy. Kinda gives him a wanton smile, and then puts his cards down. Ash puts down a royal flush, and he goes, "Come on!" And he tosses one of his cards into the fire and grabs the squirrel roasting and walks away.
She comes out, and looks at Ashton, and says, "Thank you. I would
Never really learned how to play cards, but I never had to against him.
I'd like to meet him someday. I would have liked to meet the him that was in the memories. He seems very entertaining. Especially around you, it seems.
Okay, you were talking about Carson. My voice is like weird and high pitched.
Didn't really notice.
It's okay, not high pitched. Just look, hard whiskey does stuff to your throat.
Well, I've only ever known your voice as this, so I think it sounds fine.
Yep. Okay.
Still,
Think you got a good idea?
yes. And again, thank you, and again, I am sorry to dredge these things up. And she'll just give him a quick hug and then just kind of turn around and speed walk out back to the courtyard garden where she'll start taking stock of things.
This guy stands there for a second and goes, huh. And he'll kind of follow afterwards.
Alright. So, any last details before we head to Pinell?
Nah.
Alright.
Nope.
All that being said, you guys will have 2 hours you can use as you wish.
I would like to meditate.
Alright, go ahead and mark it off.
Is 1 hour sufficient?
Graps with the boy.
Is 1 hour sufficient to take stock of that courtyard garden, or is she going to need both?
To take stock, you could easily do so.
Take stock
As
of
for-
plans.
Yeah, begin planning and probably take the full 2 hours.
Sure, I'll just do that.
Most of your squad can work with relative little direction, but it'll still take you time to kind of instruct them how to organize and where to do so.
Oh no,
Which if
she's leaving her squad on construction of things. This is for, like, a future project.
Okay. You could also get some of the people who are, like, come with you. Like some of the new dwarves.
If they'd like. Sure.
And they come with you and they begin discussing. Most of them are plants they've never seen before. But as you kind of explain to them and the uses and what might go with what a healthy one and a ripe one might look like, it'll take most of the time.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Anyone else?
I think so.
Yeah, Caius is just spending this time with like grapple practice with like the squads and everything.
Alright. And Xenia?
Doing some language training, got the books out.
Alright. And Esther?
Hmm?
Other than the meditating,
Oh.
go ahead and mark off the 4 hours as opposed to 2, just as a reminder.
Okay. Just the what? Sorry, as a reminder.
Mark, it's 4 hours, not 2, because you're being assisted.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So, as you guys get to warmer and warmer weather, even up high, it's noticeable. If anyone chooses to like look out through the magical eyes that the castle has. Going over Pinell, or the Plains of Wrath, you eventually spot what looks to be, in the distance, a very large encampment that spans a majority of the southern borders of the Plains of Wrath. They are very distant, but you can see fires all along. And as well, the entire western side of the Plains of Wrath seems to be on fire.
Well,
Pinell is currently located. I draw it with a red X. Right there.
Alright, well, down shall we go?
yeah.
As you begin approaching, you see a number of seemingly mounted goblinoids flying towards the castle.
Xenia, is there anything you can do to signal to them or message them in any way?
Well, maybe.
If
I
it,
need
We
to
have the
double check
skyride
this
chalk.
stuff.
exactly, if
I-
it takes too much.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Where I need the chalk. We should use the chalk.
That would be a good idea.
Alright.
We're here to help.
Skyrite, friendly, here to help. Caius reporting for duty. Or what was his rank? What was his? I've forgotten.
Oh god, I gotta go.
Spear. I'm
Spear, thank you.
Spear Caius reporting for duty.
Right, yes, I remember that because that's the wrestling move, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, please hold while I go remind myself what the different ranks are.
Yay!
Forgot about that note.
Yep.
But yeah, you write it in the sky. That was weird to say. And seemingly they slow their approach and instead one heads up.
All right.
Oh god, where did I leave my note of the different ranks? No, it's right there. Right. I was looking at it, didn't recognize it. Okay. So yeah, as they approach, guys, you actually recognize one of the members
Yeah.
as the general.
General?
Yep. As he kind of just lands in front of the castle and steps off his corrupted unicorn. I believe is what it was last time, or corrupted Pegasus. Like kind of a mixture between the two.
Yeah, I remember those.
Was those the ones we nearly passed out on?
Those
Or
are the
we
ones
did pass
all of
them?
us passed out on.
Yep.
I thought one person didn't.
Oh no.
Fast boys.
Totally
Yeah, no,
party.
everyone passed out.
Okay.
He steps down, and with a booming voice, just hear. I'm not gonna yell because I'm in my apartment, but he basically announces for you to approach him and report for duty,
Mhm.
Spear Caius.
Yep. Yes. Reporting for.
Do you instruct your squad to do anything specific?
Maybe bring one of them along for.
Yeah, I'll bring one. I'll bring a squad along.
One of the squads or one member of the squad?
One of the squads.
As you approach, you see the general kind of look at you and say, "You actually returned."
I've been a bit busy, but yes.
Well, we've been busy here. Nice to see you.
I see.
So, are you still willing to command your squads?
Yes.
And how dedicated are you to fighting? Or would you rather be one of those that resides as defenders?
What was the question again? Sorry. Out of character.
How dedicated are you to fighting, or would you rather be one that resides as a defender?
Oh, I'll fight. Yeah.
Then your squad will join you.
Okay.
As a reminder, you have 5 fists, who are the only rank below you, and 268 soldiers under your command.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Most of which you know are grunts. They're
Mhm.
nothing of particular strength at all.
Yeah.
R1 and 3
So-
and below.
CR like 1 to half
Okay. 1 and below.
Ooh.
each, maybe. A lot of them are just simple goblins or bugbears.
Fair enough.
So, the general nods to you and says, "Now I have to ask, what's with the mount?"
The what?
As he gestures towards the castle.
Oh, we needed a base of operations, and this one had the benefit of being quite mobile.
I can see that. You willing to have us house some of our soldiers on it? Have some attack from behind?
I'll have to convene with my peers about that, but I'll get back to you.
Request to land down nearby.
Don't know if this thing lands.
No, from Rose. Rose.
Oh no, the general is on the island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's talking like in front of the castle where you guys actually met with Rainier.
Okay.
Yo,
Once again,
info.
this is the thing where no one is talking, so it is assumed that no one else is there. I we make
Sorry.
an effort
Oh,
to.
that's where I said that, but
Get there, yeah.
I heard him
I
fly up
probably
and
have
land.
Ashton there with me to help me with that. Since
Alright.
Tice is a bit out of it.
I know Kaya's
Shit.
going forward, but
I never want to insert my character
of
there
that.
when they might not be. Is all.
so
Yeah.
good luck to go with you can see this, like it's Kaya's talking, but
Yeah.
you know who the general is. You've met him before.
can Rosalind kind of catch up too in that case?
Sure.
Asha has this like very neutral look on his face, and he goes, might I join this conversation?" He looks at Caius, "Sir."
Yeah, of course.
I don't believe the sir is necessary.
There's a quick faint over to Rosalind. No, but it makes him uncomfortable.
Sir?
This was a thing last time we were here.
It
I
was.
know. This is through feign, though, of confusion. Sir?
You were also here.
Yes.
Don't.
Oh wait, no, she wasn't in the
Yeah.
tent. That's right.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was in the tent.
Asha responds, "Caius burned the general's eyebrows off and now holds military rank."
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was a,
Part of me is.
strange.
This is faint to Esther.
Yeah, Esther's
Yeah,
saying
this is
that
feign as
I
well.
knew he had military rank, but why are you calling him sir?
Because when I first started doing it, it was basically muscle memory, but now it just makes him uncomfortable.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't. Not really. Not
This is
really a
direct
big
feign
fan.
to Esther.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry.
Esther's gonna look
Thought
at
of-
Caius. Would you like us to fight alongside you then, sir?
Caius will feign over to Esther. Like, please, I know. Ashta probably. I don't know. I know Ash knows that it makes me uncomfortable. Please don't.
do you know that?
He's not dumb.
He's called me sir, and Caius finds it uncomfortable.
But do you know that Ashton knows you find it uncomfortable, and that's why he's doing it?
I think
I
Ash does
don't
things
really
exclusively to make Kaya.
effort to hide it.
No,
Okay.
he legitimately, the first few times he did it, it was purely like, military rank, muscle memory, sir. But
Yeah.
well, I guess brain muscle memory at that point, but,
Yeah.
yeah, after that, and after, like, seeing guys squirm, he's like, okay, let's keep going.
At this point,
Okay.
Esther could play it off with, "Oh, military stuff. How do I be respectful? Oh,
Just
Anyways.
call the Ashta.
The general kind of looks at you guys and goes, "I see. So you've collected more soldiers for us."
I mean,
Not precisely. These
My-
soldiers are
This is your
tied to this ground and this island, and unfortunately that is not tied to any particular, other army.
militia.
However, this is your domain that we take this mission under, and as such, guys would hold the rank.
And
Yes.
pardon, but curiosity does compel. What is it precisely that you are fighting?"
A rather large horde of mounted salamanders.
Oh God.
Asha knows exactly what those are, right?
Yes.
Elementals.
Well,
Which
They have
one?
decided that burning much of the fields would be a good way to keep us from moving around, as well as attacking us in the night.
Right. Fire
What do they
elementals.
ride?
These iron horses don't quite recognize what they're from, some kind of construct.
And do they have a leader?
Most likely. But he has yet to show himself as far as we can tell.
Does Asha know what those horse things are at all?
Go ahead and roll a raw arcana check.
Is this
Esther
us because it's related to elementals?
It's not really elemental, so just raw arcana.
Elementals are writing it, but okay.
And
Esther's
the
just gonna
leaders.
feign to the group that
That
it's
was to
probably Sagittarius.
And we're aware.
18.
18. You've heard of steel constructs before, but you would know that almost any metal that comes in physical contact with a salamander is very prone to melting. salamanders are able to build things, but anything of this caliber is unheard of.
Impressive.
Well, just completely unheard of.
Salamanders radiate heat like nothing else. And any metal that comes in is almost always turned red at the very least.
Then how are they riding metal horses?
Welcome to the $1,000,000 question. $1,000,000 question. Asterisk.
Yes.
They might be enchanted.
I would think they would have to be, or some sort of unnatural metal or foreign. I don't know, but something impressive is aiding them.
Yes.
It's my understanding this is not the only facet of their army. I would not be surprised if they had smiths able to construct things of this caliber on a large scale, which is
And-
worrying on its own right.
When did
Which-
this
which-
army arrive?
Roughly a few days ago.
Any knowledge on how they arrived?
None.
With,
They came from the desert, so they're burning all the way up here.
Devin, the player, will raise a hand.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Rosalind, Ariel got it.
Had a feeling.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
And Taurus is on the fire side, right?
Earth.
Yeah.
Is he
Earth.
Earth?
Mm.
He is Earth.
Earth.
This
Is
guy's
he
fire.
close
Taurus
to
is
fire?
Eh,
Taurus is an earth sign, though. Heavily earth sign.
I mean, it's close to fire in that it borders. On one
Okay,
side.
yeah, that's. Yeah, I'm just wondering, like,
Uh,
did we have any information on like where he resides?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Also, Esther's just gonna ping through the fame. Sagittarius is primarily an archer, and he is used to riding on a mount. That is his comfort zone.
Get that from
Is to be in a
Aquarius?
saddle. Yeah.
Good to know.
His
Archer,
comfort zone
right.
is to be in a saddle. And he's an archer, so you might have a bit of fun with him.
I should like pause for a second. I don't know what he wields, but I'm stealing it.
I assumed.
yeah.
Real quick, I'm just gonna roll something.
Alright. Meantime, Rosalind's gonna
All right.
address the.
Oh, not 20.
Well done.
Alright.
So-
Never mind.
As you guys are having this conversation, you see the general go to open his mouth. And from nowhere that you can tell, an arrow bounced off the back of his head.
What the fuck?
What the hell?
Oh my god.
Wrapped around the shaft is a little piece of paper.
Esther's gonna pick it up and look at it.
Astra flips on the sunglasses and looks out in the distance.
Like, at the
Arrow.
very edge of the magical vision, you see a single rider on top of some kind of flying horse, holding a bow, salamander, a very large one. There might be a smile on his face, you can't quite tell, as he turns and goes riding in the other direction.
Esther's gonna read really quick. What does it say?
What language do you speak?
Oh.
Your fire genasi.
Hand
Yeah,
it, buddy. Okay, never mind.
Your fire genasi, never mind.
I don't know why
it is-
Esther grabbed for it.
Yep, it is written in Primordial.
Okay.
Okay, and?
It basically says, quit hiding in your fortress, fuckface.
Oh, this piece of shit.
Cool.
Real quick,
Estimate.
Who?
sorry,
Oh,
does Astra have an estimate on that distance?
A mile or more so.
Fuck me.
Esther's gonna look at the group and go, a personal message. It says, quit hiding in your fortress, fuckface. Or as loosely translated as I can get, because the curse word is a lot worse.
Yep, and the general kind of nods and says, that seems to be his nickname for me recently.
That message was just sent from a mile.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Mile.
By
understand
most likely
why-
a salamander.
You understand why we're having difficulties fighting now. He's burning our crops, forcing us to hide inside, and shoot anyone who comes out.
Well, does he have a
Is-
base of operations?
Somewhere, he seems to retreat to the desert. Or at least the edge of it.
I'm sorry, the desert?
Yes.
The
Well, he generally fights at night, but when it comes to daytime, it's...
in the
Sorry,
plain,
it's the reverse of that. He usually fights in the morning. At night, he seems to return to the desert.
in the Genasi desert.
Yes.
I'm going to kill him.
I would welcome you to do so. Good luck.
And
think
she's
that's what
gonna
we're here
look.
for.
She's gonna look at Ashta, but also very pointedly. He needs to die.
I am in agreement.
If he's a
Yeah,
salamander, he's good to dead.
Do you have a plan to go about the assassination, or is it more rage?
We will devise a plan, but
In that
he's
case, I welcome one of you to my war table.
Would
Ashta,
it be
you've got the most
best-
military experience.
In this case, if we are to undertake a scouting and assassination mission, we are not formally, for the most part, attached to your army. However, one of our number is. Would we have your leave to take Caius as your soldier with us on this mission, on this quest?
If the plan gives me enough confidence to think he's not necessary for our defense more so than he is in the assassination, then yes.
Then we will need a little bit of time to come up with and formulate a plan, but we will submit one to you. Would you prefer to have Caius or Ashta or both deliver it at your war table?
Guys, if you're not going to be the one to sit at the table, you can escort the one who is.
Yeah.
Caius might be the best option to sit.
And Ash
Yes.
turns. What makes you say?
I don't know, either you or Caius.
No, it's
Decide.
not either him or Caius. It's if Ashta's the one at the war table, Caius goes with him. If Caius is
Oh.
the one at the war table, he is the only one.
Then Ashton and Caius, then you both should go.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Alright.
And
Spirit
she's-
Gaius, your ward is your responsibility.
Yes.
Esther's gonna feign something to Rosalind, just... Rosalind, I need to speak to you after this.
Of course.
Then, I suggest that if you're going to come with, you do so on my mount. Seems to be I'm the only one fast enough to not be struck by his arrows.
Okay.
How fast is the mount?
You've ridden it before.
It's the fast boy.
How much
okay.
time do we have as a group to come up with a plan before this war meeting?
You see him actually pull a timepiece out of his pocket. 38.5 minutes.
Very well. In that
Right.
case, we do not
On
have
the
much
clock.
in the way of amenities at the moment, but you may avail yourself of some food and water and see to your mount if it needs anything. We will gather in another room, discuss,
Something-
and return.
It's the command to have anyone and everyone on this place stay inside.
Yes.
I'll see to
And,
it, and we'll have some of our own security soldiers see to any needs that you have in the meantime.
Yeah.
As you guys
We'll be quick.
begin to walk inside, you actually hear the sound of a firebird distantly squawking and then being struck out of the air.
Oh,
Oh no. Quick feign to
We can't keep this
fire-
thing here.
Quick feign to
We
firebird
can't. We
is
can't
yes. Get everything inside. Communicate with whatever you
get
can.
everyone to safety.
Yes. Find shelter and cover.
Rosalind,
Yes.
I need to speak with you.
All right. Everybody else, go on ahead. Start on the plan. We will join you as soon as we can.
Yeah.
One thought.
Make it fast.
I know those arrows are
Yeah.
have insane range, but we might be able to do some kind of air reconnaissance. Just have a thought on that. We'll catch up, and then she'll turn back and hold back with Esther.
Real quick, out of character, Red.
Sure.
Can Ashta estimate the general's general? Right?
Sorry, the generals.
The guy. His name is the general, right? The guy who's on here right now.
The war
As
lord?
far as you guys know, yeah.
Can Ashta estimate the speed of his horse?
Estimate the speed of his mount?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm cutting out in and out really bad. And sorry, I guess Warlord is technically the correct name, but I'm using general just for ease right now. Yeah. If you had to roughly estimate, it's significantly faster than the castle can move. That's for sure. Hold on, let me Googling first, and I'll give you.
Quickly while you Google, is it possible just to do this really fast? It's just I have to dip.
Okay. Rosalind's in the
Okay.
room.
Rosalind, you have a way to contact people, don't you?
Only to some extent and only in their sleep.
Okay. It doesn't have to be now, but if he's retreating into the desert, then there may be a possibility that my tribe has seen him. They might be able to give some indication of where he might be. It's a long shot for sure, as they constantly travel. I'm not worried about them being in danger. They can handle themselves, but it could give us a clue to where he might be. It's a possibility for tonight. That's all I'm saying.
I need to know the individual. If I have a theory, I'm going to test it. It might be as much of a long shot, but if you can choose a single individual, if you can give me their name, feign an appearance, a memory or 2 or 3, just enough that I can perhaps build an idea of them in my head and use that to target the spell onto them. Perhaps we can. I'm certainly willing to try it.
Jasmine Mackin. That's who you'll be contacting, if you can. I will give you memories tonight. This is just so we might be able to get an idea of where he is.
All right.
Well, might be a bit of a long shot, but you might just meet my mother.
I won't be the one in the dream. I can just put you in the trance and send you along. But I'll meet her through your memories in a certain sense. Assuming it
Wonderful.
works.
All right. We will deal with this later. I just wanted to approach the idea just in case. It's a good idea just at least to see if he's anywhere near them. And even then, they might be able to send out scouts.
And send word back.
I have a bit of pull within my tribe.
All right. Let's go join the others.
And I apologize, but I'm gonna have to go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's fine.
Later.
Sorry, y'all. See you
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Right. You guys begin to discuss. I'm gonna step away for a quick second, but
Yep.
go ahead and begin planning as you need to.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
how
not-
we're doing this.
Okay, so not immediately relevant, but we need to remember it for later. We need some sort of navigator or captain or ship captain or something.
Mhm.
We need someone who can get this. Despite the place's size, we apparently now need someone who can get it the hell out of here and bring it back around on our command.
Yes.
And one who can do it when all four or five, because the party, whatever. When when the party is not on board. It could
That is
be
true.
Ida.
I wasn't going to collect Issa until after we dealt with this.
Yeah, no, not right now. Right now isn't the. We don't need to do it right this second. But for the future, we definitely need some sort.
Alright, but we should focus on right now. We have half an hour to come up with some kind of plan and present it.
Okay, so then on that same front, we need to get this thing the hell out of here.
Yes.
We can't. Not now, not to that extent. We have the General, the Warlord on board at the moment. Let's not spirit him away. I know his horse is fast, but still.
Not right this minute, but once we get off.
Yes.
We
Yes.
can't just leave it sitting here.
Let me, one moment, and she's going to ask the castle crystal real quick what her range of control of it is. If she can be, like, off it and send it several miles away and then call it back later. Is Conrad there?
He's returning.
Just returned.
Of course, of course. Quick question, Rosalind, or anybody. What is their range of control on the castle crystal? Can we get off, send it miles away, and then call it back when we're done?
Never test it. If you had to assume, it's probably a mile or two
Okay then, not far.
From the crystal or from the castle?
from the castle, like the whole landmass.
Okay.
Oh,
This gives
so
us, like-
she can't even drive it if she happens to be in, like, the village.
No, the whole landmass is fine,
Oh,
but 1 mile within the landmass has to be within it.
Mhm.
okay.
So a thin layer around the big purple circle, not a
Yes.
radius within it.
Yes.
Okay then, still.
But yes, we need someone who we can trust the controls to move it while we're here. We might need
Yeah.
to get a temporary one right now.
As a reminder, you do have Yema.
Is Yema gonna stay behind
Good.
on the castle?
Yes.
Okay.
It's up to you guys. Out of character, Ton is probably going to be away for another couple weeks, so
Oh, okay.
Okay.
then we might have to do that.
Unless
We might need someone.
If we were to bring him along with the paladin be in combats,
Yes.
then it might be worth bringing along.
True. True. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then another plan might be that if Esther wants to dream contact somebody to see if we can pin down a location, then that has to wait until tonight. In that case, we might just pop over to Anther, pick up Issa, say hello, and ask her to kind of take command of the castle while we might be away, because there's going to be some time there we have to fill.
Caius also has to check on his house in hand there to see if
That
his
is-
brothers are still.
Yeah, that's not as time sensitive, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's good to know,
it's not,
but
it's like yeah, that's one of the things on the.
Basically, step one of the plan is find out where the hell we can find Sagittarius. That unfortunately means scouting the edge of the desert, possibly at least a little way
Yes.
into it.
Yep. Okay, so Conrad, about the Warlord General's horse.
Mhm.
What's
So
it?
it is roughly the speed that an arrow flies out of your crossbow.
If you had to put a number on that per turn,
Per turn?
what's its movement speed?
Fucking ridiculous. 1,800 feet around.
1,800 feet. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, if you were thinking of hasting yourself, wings and flying, no.
Not myself, but Lucy. Yes.
Yeah. No, I even checked the math. And, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. If we can get Lucy, that'd be cool. But freaking rocket
Fucking
horse.
ridiculous. Cool.
Could we put the general's horse on Lucy?
That would be
No,
some
horse on a horse?
gymnastics, but I mean,
No.
I-
Alright, look at it this way. If you suddenly need Lucy in the middle of this mission, you can just think and call him.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying for Asha either going along without them all being on the general's horse or scouting around.
Only 2 people are going back with the general for the ward meeting.
Yeah, just I was curious if Lucy was as fast. I was gonna test it during that, but if we can just map that in our head of no fucking way, then that's
yeah,
fine.
no, it is beyond ridiculous how fast this dude can move. Like, he is literally able to outspeed the arrows. That's why
Asha wonders what would happen if he slots a soul of that into his crossbow.
Oh god.
That's a good question.
Does he have any of those with broken legs? That's terrible.
Alright, so real quick, I'm going to reveal to you guys just a quick thing that will be useful in your planning, hopefully.
Oh, yes, please.
Each of these blue dots is basically the border of what is still secured by the goblinoids.
Alright. Okay, then.
Everything to the west is pretty much not in their control. There might be some stronghold they're holding out, but they have no access to them right now. Alright.
So their Pinel has no access.
Pinel is currently... Everything to the west has no access.
Oh, sorry, my
This,
my
of these
bad.
blue. Yeah.
This side.
And we're still getting shot at over here?
Yeah, you guys have only gotten here when he came to approach you.
Okay, so is that where the castle is currently on the map?
Yeah.
Fuck, okay.
As a reminder, the horse that Sagittarius was riding was flying.
Yep, horse she rode in on. Got it.
The salamander's
so-
horse was right. Was
Also,
flying.
thank you for that confirmation that was Sagittarius.
Oh, sorry, was that not clear enough?
I
I
It
wasn't
was-
trying to hide that. I'm going to be completely honest. I was
Oh.
not trying
Okay.
to hide that.
Oh, I thought it was some
Okay.
random mook.
No.
No,
That was Sagittarius.
I fully like understood the concept, but I was not certain. I didn't want to be.
I
Yes,
have-
that was absolutely Sag.
I'm not that much of a flair for the dramatic that I would say that he has a number of soldiers who can do that, because the Goblinoid army would not win this war.
Okay.
Would not even be able to hold out. if they
Yeah,
had
the
number
goblin
to do
army
that.
would be fucked if that.
You could
if
have
they
a
just-
right hand man, but okay, got it.
Rosalind will bring up for the sake of planning. She does have seeming. She can do illusory appearances, any number of creatures within range. It lasts 8 hours.
Do we have invisibility?
We can just look like salamanders, but we will not hold up to physical inspection.
That seems still
That's-
more like a...
If we
Yeah.
get close enough, and if we need, or it would be best to sneak.
Yes. On the other hand, do we have invisibility? In any capacity?
No.
Nope.
Does anyone have any books with invisibility in them?
No, I don't think so.
Esther, maybe?
Maybe.
Can Esther prepare?
I will check. She's wizard, but I'll check what she has.
Alright.
Yeah. I don't know what she has.
Does her not have
like,
invisibility?
I don't.
If she learned the spell, she does.
Yeah, I know, I mean in the list.
Yeah, it's on the list. It's just, I don't know if she ever learned the spell.
Yeah, I get that much. Just
Yeah.
You said she was wizard, like it was...
I mean, like,
not-
she couldn't just choose from her entire list, is what I mean.
Yeah, got that.
Alright. It'll take me a second to actually open the sheet, because of course it will.
Alright. Yep.
Yeah, because Asha could fly, pass without trace, invisibility, occasional etherealist, or not, and not infection.
Yeah, we're not sending Ashta in alone into probably a heavily guarded encampment to one-on-one fight a Zodiac.
Oh, he's not going to. He's gonna stealth bomb around and come back.
No. Right. Okay.
Maybe not.
Oh.
And at worst, he encounters Sagittarius and plane shifts him to hell.
Look, how long does invisibility last? 10
Actually,
Actually,
minutes?
it's the salamander that might not work.
Invisibility's an hour.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Greater invisibility is 1 minute.
Okay, that's why I was in between.
Yep.
Still.
Can use at least for tracking. I have.
Well, actually, Asha would have 3 minutes of fit on his own, and he could always hop on Lucy.
She
That's
does
like-
not have invisibility or greater invisibility. Yeah, she's a lot of evocation spells, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Asha call up Lucy real quick?
He's there.
Yep.
As always, he's there.
I'm waiting for the yes boss. But yeah, he turns like, how do you appear places that you weren't before?
Across a fancy bridge.
Can only you go on that bridge?
Sort of. Yeah. Fuck, it's hard to do this in 4 words.
Hey Thorn.
Thorns up.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Basically, he says, it's like, yeah, you are one end of the bridge. Wherever I am is the other.
Oh, see, Lucy can't go anywhere. He can only go to Ashta.
Yes.
Asha goes, is it a one-way bridge?
Usually. I haven't tried. Can you? Yes. Should you? It's a really good question, Xenia.
I mean, he's so innocent. Unless he's been fronting this whole time, in which holy shit.
No, I mean, what? So do you want to make this horse smarter?
Yep. But something to consider. God, what did that horse learn? Only learn how to juggle.
I mean, sure.
Could he use feign training to get to 5 words?
Yeah, probably, actually.
Okay, off track. Alright. So, yeah, actually just... Is there a way we could try going the other way?
You to me?
Yeah.
Let's try. And he flies away. Inside the castle still.
Yeah. She like calls after, land on the ground.
As soon as you say land on the ground, he's like, yes, boss. And he's like next to you, and he's like, oh, hold on.
You got the message, yeah?
I don't think it was the...
Sort of. And he starts trotting away again because I realize he can't fly unless you're on his back.
Alright. Oh, okay, good point. And he could have kind of like waits for like a half a second.
Yep.
Not literally, but just tries his best to planarly focus on that
Alright.
kind of every time that horse shows up.
Go ahead and roll me a wisdom check. I was really
Oh.
confused for a second because I looked at Esther's sheet. I'm like, why is her intelligence higher than your wisdom? And I was looking at Ash's.
Could he use feign to do this because it's kind of mental, or for advantage, or
It'll lower your DC.
alright,
Still mark off the point. It'll lower the DC. It's not going to give full advantage.
gotcha. Alright, normal. Let's use my new wisdom. See what happens.
Oh, bloody hell.
So, you first feel the connection between you and Lucy. And as you kind of like grasp at it, you almost feel like a tug around your navel. Like someone's put like a hook around your spine and is pulling on you. And as you kind of like stumble that first step forward, as the force is just that powerful, suddenly you're next to the horse.
Yeah, loose.
And it kind of just looks at you like, "Oh, boss!"
Caius will feign to Ashton, where'd you go?
Yeah.
What does it look like for everyone else?
It looked like Ash just stumbled for a second. It was just fucking gone.
One frame there, next frame.
you learn
Literally,
that?
yes. Like no portal, no sense of energy, just gone.
When'd you learn that?
There. Well, I feel like the party isn't reacting at all. I'm kind of
I don't know.
disappointed.
I'm like, I don't know how
Yeah,
to react.
I feel like that is the appropriate reaction of just, "Oh, he's gone."
What? And yes, then Fane out
Oh.
in a broad thing going, Ashta?
Yeah, I'm by the horse.
Did he go out
Oh.
of sight?
Yeah, just like around a corner, basically.
Alright.
Yeah, and
Head
Astro
around the
walks
corner
back
and look
around.
and- Oh, she was just heading around the corner to look. What's the chances of accidental
Hold on.
collision?
Please hold.
1d20.
Rolling a dice. Just waiting for my roll 20 to recover from the fact I just closed Esther's sheet.
I kind of want this dice to be low number, it happens and it fails just because it's funny.
Awesome. Immediately.
It's like, oh, the nose already hurts. Ouch.
It looks like it rolls up against you, and when the wings fly out, they push both of you apart.
Yeah, honestly, if Ash's nose got hit, so did Rosalind's. They're the same height.
Oh, that's
And
true,
he's
actually.
clutching her nose too.
Yep.
Oh,
Each of you get shoved aside by a horse.
Let me real quick. She's on the ground.
Yep. The horse like looks at you and licks your face. You okay?
He's on the ground.
Oh god, this is.
Guys.
The horse then walks over to you, Ash, and goes, "Boss, come on."
I am so sorry for the slight divergement into the
That's
Three
fine.
Stooges.
No, that was in character.
Yeah, that was
Going
my
like,
character.
Are you okay?
Astro like kind of like pulls himself up and like sticks a thumb in one nose and blows blood out the other.
There's the blood. Okay.
Whoa.
I'm alright.
Yep,
I've
Xenia
had
will
those
just
days.
Xenia will pull Rosalind up.
Thank you. I don't think anything's broken, but ouch.
The horse kind of just looked at you and says, "Boss, you need blinders?"
No, I'm
I think blindness was rather the problem. That corner.
okay. More importantly, and he stops and thinks for a second, and he calls up his thing again. Can you do everything to remember what the hell I just did there with the horse?
They kind of look at you and just go like, "We don't know what you just did."
Okay, you don't need to just remember everything and anything that happened with me before that happened.
We will analyze what we can.
Whatever I did, I don't know, but
We're pretty sure you just magnetically attracted your soul to your horse.
and the body went with it.
Would you rather it didn't?
I know, but I want to make sure it did.
You have pretty good control over your soul and body as separate entities. I'm pretty sure you can attach them as needed.
I what now?
That's how you go to the ethereal plane. You separate your soul from your body, but manage to keep the connection properly.
Makes sense. Okay. And he blinks back. He's like, okay, well,
I never expect you guys to figure out the metaphysics in the ways you do. I swear to God.
Yep. He blinks back for a second. He's like, I might be able to practice that. I don't know.
Another time. Plans. we can't do anything if we don't know where Sagittarius is and if we're incapable of finding and attacking him. Though, did Rosalind get a look at Sagittarius before he flew away?
Yeah. I will show you actually.
How-
You're not gonna be able to see the proper art, but here's the art for him that I'm using as a placeholder.
How good is that for the dream spell?
That shows some.
It's
Only
pretty good.
because he had the sunglasses.
I can give him a nightmare and potentially disrupt rest, though it'll take several nights of that to mean anything.
Yeah, you could.
If all else fails,
Actually, you could
be a
easily
first move.
transfer the memory. It's
Yep. Yeah, I was just one. It's just after Rosalind's on it, I thought the only one who saw it was Ashta.
yeah, technically the only one that saw it was Ashta.
Sounds good.
It would be much easier than it would be going with, say, Carson.
Okay.
Only because you have a recent memory, and part of it is presence. Like, roughly,
Knowing where they are.
basically, yeah.
Ash will have his famed fastball that memory directly over to Rosalind, and just have the whole group as well.
Okay.
That's not actually what Sagittarius looks like, but that's just the placeholder art that I'm going to use for now, and what we can say for that, because I want to show
But
the art.
But he does look salamandery.
Yes, Salamander is most as naturey and peaceful.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say is he-
Rosalind.
he's on a horse, right? He's not. He is not a centaur.
Yes,
he
he's
is
on a horse. No.
okay.
Rosalind will bring up the nightmare use of dream as a weakening potential, but she's going to say, I don't think it would kill him.
That'd certainly be an attrition tactic.
Only if he fails repeatedly and loses rest because of it, but it could at least cause him to stumble a few times if it works.
If we get into combat with him and he gets away, if we get to combat with him, maybe hold on to one spell before, if you can. Because unless you're absolutely sure it can deal. Because if he gets away, then we can simply do that as soon as he goes to rest for the night.
So you're saying don't use it tonight.
It could be possible, but it could give it away that we can do it. Meanwhile, if we end up having it, what would be the downside of doing it right now? What would that do to him?
It would cause him some mental pain and prevent him from gaining any benefit of rest for an entire night. Basically, it would exhaust him.
How long does it take for the no rest exhaustion?
I think 10. How many levels of exhaustion are there?
7.
No.
Seven?
No, I mean, how long do you have to stay awake for an exhaustion?
It depends on how active you're being. In general, I rule it as a Constitution saving throw every hour past 24. As long as you're being roughly active.
Okay. And is it just you make a Constitution save, and if you fail, that's
When
24
that's when
hours?
that's when you get the level of exhaustion.
Okay, but then you keep going after that.
After that, then it's another 24 hours.
Okay, yep. So it's make a check until you fail for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
And the DC
so,
increases every time the check goes, so eventually you will fail.
yes, but so if we did that for if we did that for 2 days, if we waited 2 days, he'd be slower and he'd have disadvantage on ability checks.
3 days, attack rolls and saving throws.
So basically, for it to be absolutely worth it, we'd have to wait 3 nights.
Yes, that's why I thought that if I did one tonight, if it worked, and it can be resisted. If it worked, then it's at least a start.
But but if we did that for assuming he took even just a small amount of damage today for something or another, which I doubt, he wouldn't get the benefits of a rest, and he would get possibly 1 level of exhaustion, which is disadvantage on ability checks.
Mhm.
That's a minimum of 3 days. However, if we went and started scouting and going after him, and we ran into him within 3 days, that tactic becomes less viable
How so?
because Because if we were to go and fight him, and then use it, he would not gain the benefits of healing himself as much. And if he did himself, that's all he could ever do until he sleeps.
Okay, now I'm not understanding how this is less viable as a tactic.
Because if we do it while he's still at full health, he takes steps to prevent it. Whereas if we do it after we fight him once and he starts taking steps to prevent it, we could run into him before he has.
Like, what kind of steps to prevent it?
I'm sure he has. I mean, there's any sort of like resistance to magic. He could move to another plane while he's not. Is it restricted by plane? Dream?
On the same plane
Yes.
of existence, yes.
Yep. So he could, if he has the ability to come here from wherever he's from, not unreasonable to think he can hop back in and out, and just rest there. I'm basically
Yes,
saying
but
that.
in that case, she's only spent one spell slot one night, and she gets it back right away, and it's like, okay, then he's gonna start popping over to rest elsewhere, but we're gonna have to find him anyway.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that if he can do that, and I know I'm throwing around ifs, but this is a thing that happens. You always give me crap for like that's a lot of ifs, but there's everything is an if. If he does find out, and if he has ways of dealing with it, which is fairly likely he does, given his position,
Then we've lost relatively little.
then we've lost relatively little, except for the chance to have him be not rested after we've fought him, and that is much more advantageous than than us showing up and him maybe having one level of. Instead, we are having the chance of again, it's a maybe, but the maybe of him not being able to fully heal or not getting his spell slots back.
Very much banking on us fighting him and then him getting away, as opposed to us fighting him, not having him be exhausted to any level when we fight him for the one and only time, potentially.
Yeah, but I'm saying the benefit we get from doing it now and then potentially fighting him in the future is much less than the safety net we would get if we fight him and he gets away.
If we fight him and he gets away, and then we dream spell him and he has trouble, then he could just retreat himself to the other plane, wait until he's recovered fully, and then we gain no benefit at all.
Yep, and he could do that if we do it beforehand too.
So basically, there is really no greater or lesser option.
But again, I say the greater option is both sides have if he can just go to the other plane and rest, he can find ways to mitigate it.
Alright, so, how about this?
Let me get done this.
I think
Hold on.
you've already gone over everything.
I don't think I have, because you
Devin,
just said
hold
it,
on.
you don't believe it.
Hold on, pause Devin for a second.
Go ahead.
Let's end the recording here. We'll discuss tactics after session. That way, we can confirm once Sky's returned before we start next session. And that way we can go straight into next session after.
Alright.
Okay, then. Yep, alright.
Alright, so next time something will happen.
Yeah,
Something.
who knows?
Yeah.
Alright, until
Take
then.
care.